Hey everyone, welcome to the Felicity, Optimist versus Cynic podcast with us, your hosts, Melissa and Fish. This is a Felicity rewatch podcast. We'll watch an episode each week and join you here to talk about it. And a reminder, it's been a minute, so we'll remind you, this isn't just spoiler-free podcast. There's potential that we could say things that come up in future episodes of the show, so just be aware. I am Melissa, and I'm here with my stunning co-host, Fish. Fish, how are you doing today?
Oh, all the emotions. I'm having all the emotions. I am excited because we haven't done this in like 2 months. I recognize it's only been 2 weeks for the rest of you, but if our last episode where we were giving each other Christmas gifts didn't let you know how long it's been, it's been about 2 months since we've done this. So excited about that, a little anxious, not sure how it's going to go. Very relieved that the christening is not in fact about Ruby's child. See, all the emotions, all of them.
All of them. Yeah. Fish was a little worried. She was worried that maybe we were a little dusty, that we don't, or rusty or whatever we could be. And that we wouldn't know how to podcast anymore. And I assured her it's like riding a bike. And then you said,
I said I can't ride a bike.
That was a problem. So then I was like, well, it's like chewing food. So that's what we're going with. Podcasting is like chewing food, folks.
Yes, I have decided to believe her. And I will say I am a top-notch masticator.
That's right. So, I mean, who forgets how to chew? Okay, I know that there are like conditions you can have.
No, don't go there.
Okay, but we're not talking about those today. All right. You can't forget how to chew food. All right. And
Yes.
So you can't forget how to podcast. Well, what are we podcasting about today? You may ask. Season 3, episode 1, the very first episode of the season, called The Christening, which terrified the very prospect that this was about Ruby's baby. Terrified Fish, but
For
it's
2
not.
months.
Yeah.
For 2 months, it
For a
terrified
while.
me.
Yeah, we let you squirm with
Yeah.
that one for a while. So it's
Yeah,
called
cool.
The Christening. It originally aired October 4th, 2000, directed by Steve Miner, written by J.J. Abrams. Here's the episode description. Felicity returns from summer break and ditches plans to spend her junior year in an apartment with Elena and Julie. Instead, she decides to get a Brooklyn flat for herself and Ben, who foolishly agrees to live with her before seeing the dump. Meanwhile, Javier registers for freshman year, Sean expands his documentary into a reality series, and Noel remains missing in action, along with Javier's cousin, Natalie, Allie Landry.
Yeah, okay, that's some of the stuff that happened.
Sure is. A lot of stuff happened in this episode.
A lot of stuff happened, yes.
Well, with that in mind, Fish, where do we start?
I think this is going to be one of those, we just have to start at the beginning because...
I think we take this one in order, yeah.
Yeah, so much stuff really interweaved and happened so quickly. Now, I recognize, I can't remember, I think it was probably a different interview with Mandy Foreman, where she talked about the theme song, the new theme song, which I believe she said was written by J.J. Abrams. So we're just gonna say there's a new theme song.
There is.
And
well, also, and I want to
okay.
say before you did exactly what the episode did. So in past seasons, a lot of times what they would do is they'd have like a teaser portion of the episode where you'd have a little bit of the action first, and then at some point they'd bust into the OAL theme song. That didn't happen here. They wanted to just right away be like, new year, new theme song, new version of you. So they open with a theme song none of us had ever heard before.
Yeah, and I had some reactions, which I will keep to myself. I will just say...
What is the point of that, Fish? This is a podcast.
Because I respect Mr. Abrams and his choice of putting his own song
He's
in
not
his
listening
own
to
show.
this. Look, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, minus points for you for the, the theme song, J.J. Abrams. Plus points for you for not opening it with the Dear Sally tape. All right? It's a wash.
Is it? Well, maybe for you. The Dear Sally stuff didn't bug me. But I mean, it has robbed me of, one of my favorite moments of every week, which is when Melissa will sing along with the theme song. So I mean, J.J. Abrams, just if you ever hear this, know that you have decreased the joy in my life just a little bit, but brought so much through the whole show of Felicity that I really can't come down too hard.
It'll come down a little hard. It's okay though, because I think I've been trying to get a sense of how people feel about the opening credits. I remember at one point I was going through on YouTube whatever uploaded versions there were of the credits, and I was trying to get a sense of, like, from the comments, who likes them, who doesn't, what's the spread. I guess my sense is that people feel like the theme song from the first two seasons, the credits, really everything about the credits, both the theme itself and the use of sort of the artistry of the still photos, and how it sort of blended with the artistry of Felicity herself. And it was sort of an ode to New York in all of the scenes. I got the sense that people were more into the credits from the first two seasons, but I don't know if that is accurate. So, if you're listening to this, we'd love to know what you thought. Like, did you have a preference? Did you prefer these credits? What was your vibe?
Yeah, and feel free to not dance around the subject as I have.
Yeah. I like how you were like, I won't share my thoughts on this. And I called you to the mat for that. It's like, that's your job, all right? That's your job.
Yeah. And yet I still didn't share it. So
I think we have a sense.
Yeah, I think we have a sense.
Just remember you're a critic, okay? It's okay.
Cynic. I'm a cynic.
You're a cynic too.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm both. So, I mean, do you have amazingly optimistic and positive things to say about the theme song?
I don't think they're terrible, but I don't think they fit. Okay. I think that it is, in fact, a new vibe that it brings, right? If we just sort of break it down, because that's what we do here. I think that some of the reasons that I liked the credits from the first two seasons, well, I just said them. I mean, I think that there's an artistry to Felicity herself, and I think that is matched in the first two seasons with the use of the still photos. I think they're really good photos. I think they show the people and the places, and at some points the dog. I
knew that was going to come.
I like that. I always felt like the sort of whispery singing in the opening reminded me a little of Julie. It wasn't Julie, but it reminded me of the way that Julie sings. And I think music is certainly a heavy component for at least the first season for Julie. So I liked that they brought together all of that. And, for those of you listening to this, when we were deciding on what we wanted our opening music to be for this podcast, the one that we ended up going with, for me, kind of makes me think of the first two seasons theme song. So it, I know they're all a little bit different, but there's like a through line that runs through for me. This theme song feels like they went poppier. And they went, and I think that is in line with, I guess, they were getting these notes about the show being brighter, and we want dancing and we want fun. And I guess they felt, the network thought the show was pretty heavy the first season, which it was at many times. It was darker. There's a lot of brown. There was a lot of, it just felt like a darker show. And they've been getting these notes along the way to be brighter. And I think that this theme song is reflective of that too, but I don't know that I think Felicity is a poppy person,
Yeah, I was gonna say, if that's the way they were going, perhaps whatever is going to happen with Julie, since clearly it's a little deeper than they said, um, maybe doesn't. But I think you're right. It probably doesn't fit with
Okay.
the direction the show seems to go. Since you have said that there's even more drama that we're going to face in seasons
You
3 and 4.
know, I feel like, and I think this is a good time to say, knowing the show pretty well, although it's been a little while since I did a rewatch, it's been a few years and a lot's happened in my own life. So I don't know what I'm going to layer into my thoughts on seasons 3 and 4. But if you were to ask me what seasons do I think, how do I think I'll rate the seasons? I expected before we started this podcast that season 1 would be my favorite, season 2, that they would basically go in that order: season 1, 2, 3, and 4, in order of most to least favorite season. And I have to say that this one actually started pretty strong for me. So I don't know, maybe it'll bear out a little differently, but I feel like seasons 3 and 4, but particularly 4, gets like really soapy feeling at times, in a way that it didn't feel that much like that to me in seasons 1 and 2.
Is there a secret twin? Does a secret twin show up?
No secret twins, but there are just some twists and turns in the plot that they did that I think were sort of for the sake of twists and turns in the plot. And I don't know. I mean, whenever you get any couple together, and that includes every couple that we've got on this show, it, I guess, is pretty boring to have all of those couples just be happy all the time with nothing happening to them. So when you get people together, and we've got people together right now, multiple sets of couples here, and you kind of know that they're going to have to throw a wrench into the works there in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we already see it. They're already building it into episode 1.
They are, but they're doing it, and it feels a little more organic to me in this episode than it will at some points in the future. There's some stuff that's like, oh, okay, we're going here. All right, that's fine. I'm on this ride with you. I was always on the ride in seasons 1 and 2. I don't know that my memory of seasons 3 and 4 is that I was always on the ride, but hey, it's a new version of me, right? It's a new time. It's a new place. It's a new era. I'm doing these podcasts with you, Fish. I feel like I could grow. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes.
All right. Well, if we jump in, they're already starting to throw us off because Felicity is walking down the street saying she hasn't seen him for 3 months, and she is just so happy, and she's got this big smile on her face, and she's just going to go up and give a big ol' hug to Javier.
Yeah, he's in a cab. My little angel. Fish, did you notice that the one business that we could see signage of, did you notice what that business was?
I saw pizza a lot.
Okay. Well, there was a scene that they did with sort of an upward camera angle to Felicity and Javier, and behind them there was just this building that had The Wiz on it. Remember that? Remember that business?
No, I remember the musical.
The Wiz at this point was like a record store. Remember those?
Huh. I do remember like Tower, and I remember like the secondhand stores, but I don't know if we maybe we didn't have them in California and
maybe
you had
not.
them in
Yeah,
New York.
It's sort of like a Tower Records kind of thing. I mean, with all of those types of businesses, we had many iterations of technology during the course of their run. So you had like probably records officially, and then cassette tapes, and then CDs, and then we eventually got to a place where you're buying stuff online from digital stores. But
I never went into one. Well, that's not true. Sometimes you would go into the second. I only went into the secondhand stores for records or for CDs. Even though I guess they were also in bookstores a lot, but those are the new ones. But if you go into like the dingy one room, there was there was usually sort of what looks like a grocery store plastic basket, like the personal basket somewhere, or a laundry basket somewhere sitting on the floor with like just a bunch of A-track.
Hmm.
Like, or you're just like, what,
Yeah.
why?
I
Like, who's
really
buying
enjoyed,
this?
yeah, I really enjoyed going into those stores. I mean, I'm
It
more
was fun.
remember, I guess when I was really young, I do remember going in and seeing records, but most of my like memory of those stores is going in and shopping for CDs and just that experience of just like walking around the store and flipping through the different options that you had and seeing the cover art. And I don't know, I really
Mhm.
liked that experience. And then they had those little machines, sort of like a library card catalog, but usually like a digital kiosk where you could be like, I want this album or this CD, and then they would point you to where it was in the store because otherwise you spend forever looking for it.
Ah, we had very different experiences because what I'm talking about is it was usually pretty dark, and you'd walk in and like the windows hadn't been washed, and yeah,
Ah,
there'd be a place for the CDs and there'd be a place for the records. Usually the CDs were in the middle and the records were on the outside, and there were always like beads hanging down from the door, so you had to like go through the beads, and the whole place smelled like incense, like
yeah. So you went to like
really, really
little
strong.
independent shops.
Yeah, like the secondhand ones where it was like
Yeah.
some guy was just running this. There was always like some moldy carpet, and they were all facing out to the beach because it's California.
Yeah.
And so I just love them. I mean, the
Yeah.
incense alone,
Yeah.
every time I smell incense, it brings me back to
Yeah.
walking into those little shops and
Okay.
just love it.
It's good. Getting a real sense memory from just the words "the whiz" behind them. But
Yeah.
hey, nobody beats the whiz. Ain't nobody gonna beat the whiz. Hey, nobody remembered that until I just said it. Anyway, so okay. Uh, we're really good at going off on tangents today, but I'm going to bring us
Yeah.
back. So, hey, Felicity is walking. Felicity sees Javier. They're reconnecting.
They're super
How are
happy.
things? We're getting the whole like how Felicity's feeling to be back at school. Everybody's happy.
And they just want to set the stage.
Mm-hmm.
Felicity, she's gonna be in a new dorm. And Noel, nobody's seen him all summer.
Yeah,
He's missing. This is gonna be the mystery of this episode is
yeah,
just, where art thou, Noel?
it's so
Where art
true.
thou?
Yeah, they do set up two pretty important things here because Felicity mentions that she's planning to live with Elena and Julie in the dorm. And then the whole Noel thing, I think Javier is a good person for us to have that first conversation because when Felicity is offhandedly, Felicity's not worried about it. Felicity's just offhandedly saying, I haven't seen Noel since he left your wedding with Natalie. And Javier's like, wait a minute. Noel and Natalie?
Yeah, was
What?
this a thing? Nobody told me. Oh, he's in so much trouble.
Yeah, he's apparently Javier knows a lot of stuff about Natalie that he's not telling the audience, but all we need to see is how much he's freaking out. And he's not
Well,
feeling good about this for Noel.
he does tell us what did he call her? Like,
Amanda Sawyer? He
no, no,
made a
no.
reference that must have been a news reference at that time.
Oh, I thought he said like a man destroyer. She
Oh,
just like destroys men and discards them.
it could be either one. Anybody who's listening to this, if you were aware if there was an actual Amanda Sawyer, but it could be a man destroyer. The idea is the same thing because I assumed that Amanda Sawyer was a man destroyer.
I
Um,
mean, could be. We've
well
got a
done.
new uh reference.
Yeah, I
We
guess
we can
so.
just check. Oh,
Yeah. So he's nervous about it, but he does have something he can do to help Felicity with the apartment because he has a connection. He knows a guy who's trying to clear out an apartment worth of furniture.
mhm.
And since Felicity is going to be living in an apartment and it clearly hasn't thought about the furniture that will be in it, although it doesn't seem like they need any when we actually get there, but whatever. So it's fine. So he's going to take her to this place where they can check out the furniture and see if there's anything that she might want, any, lamps or whatever.
Yeah, and we get to see this offer of furniture in documentary style. It's back. Felicity's on the street, and she and Javier are going, and everyone else is going to be stalked by Sean throughout the episode.
Yeah. Well, but before we go documentary style, we do actually see them in this apartment. And the main thing I wanted to point out here is that the manager actually walks in while she's looking at it, because I guess they're trying to clear this place out. And he mentions that they're going to put the place up for rent. And you could tell Felicity's interested.
Yeah. I just wrote down impulsive. Like, she hasn't changed that much. She sees the place, she gets this picture in her head, she's like, oh, this is gonna be our romantic little grotto.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We all know her well enough at this point to know what she's thinking.
Yeah.
The wheels are turning for sure. But then you're right, we do go to the documentary style. And it turns out that, Sean says, hey, the IFC wants this to be a whole reality series. So get ready, folks. We're going to do all kinds of documentary style episodes.
Do they do that throughout the whole season?
I can't remember how far in we go, but there's some more documentary style like scenes that we'll see. It's something that they wanted to set up to be able to do it whenever they wanted to.
Okay. Because, I liked it the first time. I liked it the second time. The third time is starting. Much. Yeah, it's getting a little much, especially because Sean is so pushy about it. And I don't know.
Yeah.
But third time's getting a little much. If they just do little bits and pieces, I'll be fine. But like, if the next 3 episodes are all documentary style, I think I'm gonna be starting to Dear Sally it. Start dinging points there.
Okay. All right.
But let's just wait for a second and realize the reason this furniture is available is because Javier's friend got a job at a .com.
Yeah.
Anyone remember the .com boom? Weren't those the days? Don't we all wish that we had just invested in Apple? If we'd known the future, right?
It's such a weird label of a time to me, because it's like we talk about, like he says .com, and it like brings up a memory of this era, but actually we're still in that era.
No,
no. I appreciate that it was like a booming new industry at the time, except we're still using.
Yes, we are still using the term .com, but the .com boom was all about the Silicon tech companies that just made you, multi-millionaire overnight kind of thing. And they were a, fly-by-night sort of operation. And then they all went bust, and a bunch of people all lost their money. And we have not seen that come back. Yeah. That just... the amount of kind of wealth that was created, and it, I think it is a bit of a nostalgic era, especially for those of us at like the tail end of, Gen X or like early millennial. It's like, we were pretty stable. The economy was doing well. The deficit was, balanced. And it's just job, employment was good. We had the .com boom. The housing crisis hadn't happened. It was a nice, stable moment for us to grow up in.
Yeah, for a minute. Yeah.
For about 10 years there, 5 years. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like when 9/11 happened, that probably brought everybody to their knees, and just
that's true.
Industry.
It was like maybe 96, 97 to 9/11.
Yeah.
But
so the thing that we're capturing in this first documentary portion is Sean's tracking Felicity, who is nervous because she's walking to meet up with Elena and Julie, who she hasn't seen yet, and she's got to tell them something.
Yeah. We know what it is.
Yeah, we have a sense of what might be happening here, but she won't reveal it to Sean. He wants to capture all this on film, and then they get to the apartment, and it's this amazing. I mean, it really doesn't look like a dorm. It looks
No,
like,
they said it was student apartments.
yeah, yeah, it definitely was a lot of space. I think that they really tried to think about what they would need for filming because,
Mm.
there's a lot of, it looks like a place that has a lot of space, even from the front end of the camera. And that there's a whole lot of people who need to be behind the scenes. So I don't know if this was a set or what they did with this, but they definitely gave consideration to how can we have just as much room as possible.
Yep, yep. Nice and light and um a lot of light, but also a lot of white everywhere. So I mean, I thought we had a big dorm, big student apartment or whatever junior year, but compared to this, nope, not even
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, this was a lot. And then we're going to see as Felicity greets Elena and then Julie, there's a lot of, friendly hellos. Julie is a little like, hey, how are you? Julie's like, I'm okay.
Yeah,
You're
it
like,
was subtle.
ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, it was
it
subtle,
was.
but they put it in there.
They did. Elena, no, don't wear that ever again.
Oh,
Sorry, just don't.
okay.
But yeah, they're all saying hi. Felicity has brought a plant.
And we're going to
And
get one of many references to the fact that there's going to be a new roommate from England.
who I thought was
Natalie, but it is not because Natalie has never been British.
look, I didn't really remember. It's been several months. We saw her for like 5 seconds.
We did. Okay, fair enough. Last
But
time we saw her, she was talking about Texas.
I don't remember that. I don't remember. I just thought it would be cool if Natalie then moved in. But apparently she's going to be around for a
Kind of
little
would have been
while.
fun, actually. Yeah, I kind of would have liked that.
Yeah, but I'd like to take your temperature on this.
Okay. 98.6.
Wonderful. How are you feeling about Felicity walking into this room with this plant with her news on a scale from like one, well, on a scale from, let's say 10 being the most considerate, so on a scale from like Susan to 10?
I'm going to put her at a typical out of 10.
Typical for her,
Typical for
but
her.
what I really want to hear is, well, how do you compare to Susan?
Well, I think she opens with smiling through gritted teeth. You guys are going to kill me. So I like that she primed them for a second. But I mean, she just drops this news on everybody she talks to. So I don't know. Let's give her like a 4.
Okay. So on a scale from Susan to 10, she gets a 4. See, I'm thinking she actually might be like a little worse than Susan because at least Susan had an answer. She was like, "You're not living here." Whereas Felicity walks in and says, "Look, I wanna live with Ben. It's, I already took the apartment, but I didn't tell Ben, so I
But I think
might
there's
be
a
here."
difference between displacing one of the people who's living. Like if she were like, Ben is going to live here with me and you two need to find a new place, that would be a different thing, which is what Susan did to Julie way back when that I hated so much. It was just like Julie had everything ready to go and she shows up holding stuff she's going to bring into the apartment. She's like, oh, yeah. Right. About you. You're not living here. And Julie's like, where am I supposed to live? But Felicity was displacing herself. And yes, they did need to find somebody else looking for an apartment, but Felicity offers up that solution. She's like, what about Megan? You got this new British, maybe Natalie roommate coming in. Like there are people. And, you figure at this point in the year, there might be somebody else up there from school who's looking for an apartment.
Let's also remember a little bit later when she then says, this apartment thing may not be working out. I might just move back in with you guys. And then Megan's like, well, hold up. What about me? And Julie's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it
So,
doesn't end up displacing Megan though.
okay.
They all just kind of squeeze.
I mean, they can all just go back to living at Sean's place, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they just did it for
I
like a
guess they're
whole
trying to
year.
recreate an environment like that, right? Where they can get a whole bunch of the cast members together, a whole bunch of the friends together. Um, I
Yeah, my
guess they
notes.
liked the chaos of that, and they
Yeah.
probably wanted more of it.
Yeah, my notes are just going to be a mess then this whole season because at one point I just had to like I started writing down the people when they were off like chasing Noel and at some point I was just like everybody's there
Yeah,
chasing Noel.
yeah.
But we're
Well,
not there yet.
so the ladies are sort of receiving this news, and Elena's like, Elena's going to give her a typical dose of reality. She's like, "Look, I lived with Tracy over the summer, and I'm just telling you, like, whatever this notion is that you have, what it's going to be like to live with Ben, it's not like that."
Which we all know is true. It is different living with another person, but this is like I didn't pick up on it right then, but then they keep kind of hammering home maybe not everything is going so well in the Elena Tracy world.
Yeah, or maybe it didn't. It's about to not. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it seems like they had a decent summer. Um, but maybe the problems are gonna come up now that like I don't know. It's I feel as though they were painting the picture of a summer that went okay.
I don't know from Tracy's perspective,
Okay.
but we'll get there.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go back to documentary, and Sean's got the camera on Megan. He's asking her what's up, how's it been going?
She matches the couch, that brown leather top, brown leather couch. She's just fitting right in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Said she had an amazing summer. She spent it with her boyfriend. He's her boyfriend now, who is amazing in bed, even though his dick is really tiny, that she shows by lifting up her little finger.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know how it is. Well, she spent the summer with the maker of this documentary in
Yep,
Tuscany, and it was a mostly good time, she says. They're actually pretty cute together here, though.
they are. Yeah,
It's,
he pretends to be affronted by the fact that she's called out his tiny dick because he knows uh,
okay.
that they've
Fair
had a good
enough.
time. They've had a good time all summer, and I don't quite understand why she still doesn't have any sort of tan, but maybe they spent it all just in bed. Who
I
knows?
mean, it's reasonable to think that, right?
Oh,
And I don't know, it seems like they've got sort of a groove going. They're in some sort of a groove or pattern in their relationship, but it presents pretty cute, at least with this documentary.
I mean, how does this go wrong? I mean, you are at the start of a relationship, you have great sex, you take the guy to a villa in Tuscany all summer. I
Mhm.
mean, I feel like it probably doesn't get much better than this.
They're gonna well from this point forward, they're gonna find all kinds of ways to throw wrenches into their relationship. But
Yeah,
I
that
think
that'll be the real world.
I think that they have a certain dynamic already that you can already see that'll continue to play out as they throw things between them. Where they just sort of like they're always somewhere between bickering and getting along, it's just that gray area between fighting and loving each other. They
I
occupy
think
that space pretty much forever.
I think that's called passion and also marriage.
I mean,
Um,
whatever it is, like I think it's certainly a different dynamic they're presenting to us for that couple than they are for some of the other couples we're seeing, right? They're giving us a very different texture with these two,
yes.
and it makes it pretty fun. Because even when they're going to give us small, stupid stuff that they fight over, you're still just kind of like, Yeah, but I want them to fight like this because they're funny. But they also have an underlying caring for each other. So I don't know.
That's the important part, you know? And I mean, poor Richard here. He can't even find his significant other. He'd like to reconnect with Noel. He had his time with Sean. Sean is off with Megan, and now he would like to, with his tail between his legs, go back to the man that he called a slut
Yeah.
and say, "Hey dude, let's get along again."
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but the other thing Richard tells us here, hey, how was your summer, Richard? Richard
He doesn't want to talk about
manages
it.
to get across the idea that he was Minnie Mouse at Disney World without saying any of those words. It's
Oh, I did not pick up on that at all. Wow.
okay.
Okay.
He said, did
Well,
you
no,
not?
I know what he said. I just had a totally different
He
interpretation.
worked at a certain theme park,
Right.
and not all of the female rodent mascots are played by female
Correct.
employees.
That
What
is
did you think
not.
he meant?
I thought he meant he worked at Disneyland, which I, in my haste to write things down, unfortunately abbreviated as D-Land. So he works at Disneyland and he was trying to, find some female companionship and unfortunately made some passes at not female people.
Okay, my interpretation was that he worked at Disney World and he was Minnie Mouse.
I like both of these.
Yeah. Cool. So there you have it. Listeners, you weigh in. What did you think Richard was saying? Because the point here is that Richard doesn't use it's like what's the game where you can't actually name any of the key,
Taboo.
is it taboo? Yeah, that sounds right. Where you can't actually name any of the words they put on the card and you want to say all those words to describe the
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Well, he in I don't know 50 words said what he could have said in 5. So
Yep.
he couldn't say Disney or Minnie Mouse, which is probably accurate. They probably didn't have the rights to say any of that stuff.
Yep.
So I like how they did it. And Richard is a perfect one to deliver that, where it's like he's just so ashamed.
Which still works from either of our perspectives.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
works, but I mean to go from class co-president to either Minnie Mouse or Minnie Mouse hitting on Minnie Mouse, who actually ends up being a dude. Either way,
Okay.
not it's not. Whew.
So, in other updates on what people did for their summer, we're going to get more documentary style coverage of Elena and Tracy. And
Mhm.
we learned that they worked together over the summer. They were volunteering at a children's hospital in Buffalo, of all places.
Yes.
So they're kind of just sharing the story of that. They're looking somewhat cute together at first, and then Sean
Well,
asks about.
Elena says I thought a little pointedly, like, Tracy's going to be an amazing doctor,
Mhm.
and gives him a little kiss. And it's a children's hospital. And so I was like, are we foreshadowing like children kind of conflict in the future there? Um, but you're right. Then Sean is just going to like bowl in a china shop, as you always say, go right for the serious problem.
Yeah, he's like, so last time we checked in, you guys hadn't had sex. And Elena's like, well, yeah, we still haven't. And that's okay up until.
And then there's a look that Tracy gives,
Mm-hmm.
because what Elena says is, but it's not a problem
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And Tracy has this look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And then some guy just walks into their apartment I mean, WTF with that kind of stuff happening, saying they're going to have, a keg across the hall. You guys want to come over? Elena just like, toad eye back to toe, looks him up and down and says, yeah, sure. And they look back to Sean, and Sean just keeps pressing. He's like, yeah, are you worried about temptation and being back? And I swear he zooms in on Tracy's face.
Mm-hmm.
And that look to me says there have been problems. Like the look,
Okay.
he drops all fun from Tracy's face is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most serious look I think I've ever seen him give, ever.
Yeah. Well, I had interpreted it that Elena, when the hot guy walks in, Elena's kind of, like you said, staring him up and down, giving him googly eyes, and then which might be an appropriate usage in this context. And then I thought Tracy picked up on that. So when Sean hones in on that point, he's like, are you worried about temptation? I.e. this guy who just showed up holding a bag of groceries that Elena was so weird with. I felt like Tracy was reacting to that, but it could have been that there was something that happened over the summer that we don't know. We don't see that.
I just have a feeling that whatever this like sex is not a problem thing is not actually true.
Yeah, she was sugarcoating it for the camera. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, let's talk about Javier. Javier's also being interviewed, and he's excited to be a freshman.
Yeah, yes.
Remember remember we learned that last year, and then he announced it again at the wedding.
Yeah, during his wedding speech.
Yeah. It's funny that vows. Like we all knew that before that episode.
Yeah.
Because he had told another character that, and then all of a sudden he's just telling his husband to be about it the night before the wedding. Like, that doesn't feel like the timing for that, but that's okay. Javier's excited to be a freshman, and he is excited to rush. Except he doesn't know what that means.
No, he's like, I've heard that's what freshmen do. Should I do it? Should I not? I want to see it happen.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go back to Richard.
Oh, poor Richard.
Richard, I feel like in every scene that we see him in this episode is going up a number. Like if we're doing a scale of 0 to 10 for anxiety, every episode, every short scene we see him in, he has to go up a number, right?
Yes.
And
so as he's going up the anxiety ladder, he's also going down the conspiracy hole. He is just further and further. I feel like he should have a Sam Spade, like gumshoe.
Yeah, he's got the detective thing going about him here, and he gets even more and more into that role as the episode goes on. Right now, though, he's setting it up for us where he's like, I haven't heard of Noel or heard from Noel. I can't find him. He's like, yeah, he was with that girl, the one that looks like the Doritos chick. I love that. I love that put it straight into the script. I'm assuming
they got the rights on that one. I mean, product placement. They had a couple of product placements in this one. But
Allie Landry was the Doritos chick, so I feel like
but they still would have needed.
Yeah, they would have needed the clearance to be able to do that.
But it's a nice little tongue-in-cheek moment.
Yeah, it's also pretty on the nose with how the audience probably would have seen her. It's like, remember her, the one we met for one episode? She's the Doritos chick. It immediately puts a face back on her if you forgot.
I don't think anyone was ever looking at her face.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's beautiful. My God.
I still don't know what her face looks like. She's got great tits.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm sorry. That's what I noticed.
I think her face is gorgeous.
Everyone noticed. Can't help it.
I saw her face. Okay. Because I look at people's eyes or their face. All right. I did. But yeah, so he's calling it out here. He uses a word as they get to the end of this scene, abduction.
Yep.
And that's where you know this is going to turn, right? Where it's like, he doesn't say it when he mentions the line, the Doritos chick. He says it towards the very end. But when he says abduction, it's like, okay, he's about to go down on a rabbit hole.
Yeah, because everyone else is like, oh, yeah, we can't find him. And Richard is, I mean, he's there. He's like, the man has been abducted.
It's
Why
like
is no one else freaking out?
It's a very quiet at first red alert. It's like, he has been abducted.
Yeah. Other
Just wants
people
to see how it
notice this.
sounds. And as he starts to gather more information, he feels confirmed in his assessment.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to start with it there.
Elena's going to have a different reaction.
Yeah.
I feel like every time the Doritos chick is mentioned or Noel is brought up, that she needs someone to be physically holding her back because she's ready to punch somebody. She is mad at Noel. She is pissed, but she also hopes he's okay. So I think this is the continuation of the caring version of Elena that we saw from that episode where you were like, this is what Elena looks like when she's trying to protect someone.
You know what? I normally save audience feedback for the very end, but I do want to bring this in now because we had a comment from at MEM_0026 on Instagram who said, basically in reference to Natalie, I loved the most how this storyline has showcased Elena and Noel's friendship that developed on its own outside of Felicity.
Oh, so we'll get to see more of this.
Well, I mean, I think we're already seeing it, though. I think we saw it at the wedding. Elena's spidey sense was immediately tingling the moment she saw Natalie and Noel together at the wedding. And it's something that I kind of reflected on even when we were covering that episode, where it was like, just something about this. Elena's being protective of Noel. Elena used to be your guy scum to Noel.
Well, and in all fairness, he was.
Yeah. And then Natalie shows up and we see Elena fully protective. And it happens somewhere between those things, right? Like, I don't think she just went from your guy scum to lay off my friend.
No, I mean, she's lived with him for an entire year and watched everything that happened with Ruby and watched him just get stomped.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's what this is showing us, because she's just, she's pissed at him for leaving her in the lurch, but she's worried about him. And she's feeling like this Natalie is a threat to him.
Yeah, which I feel like Javier and Elena should just, have a little scene where they both just freak out about Natalie.
Yeah. And then now we're starting to hear from more people. We're going to get a little bit with Felicity. We're going to get a little bit with Julie right after. And they're both like, wait, nobody's heard from Noel? You haven't heard from Noel? Nobody. So Sean's now, you can tell Sean's going around to everybody, interviewing them and saying, nobody's heard from Noel. Tell me what you think.
Yes. And we get these little scenes, and I just got super distracted. I may be the only one who noticed this, but in the scene where Felicity is saying she hasn't seen Noel, there is a guy to her right who is just chowing down with the most amazing mustache.
Oh my gosh.
It is huge.
Is that the scene where she's holding an entire slice of pizza but not eating it?
Yes. But the guy behind her is totally chowing down with his giant mustache.
This is the difference between me and Fish. Fish notices guy with giant mustache. I'm noticing she's eating it and she's physically holding almost vertically an entire slice of pizza, but hasn't taken a bite of it.
Yeah, it's probably pretty cold at this point.
It's probably freezing. She's probably been holding it for an hour doing different takes of this scene.
The fact that it's not dripping grease means
yes,
it has been there for a while.
Yeah. And they didn't want it. They had to make it vertical because if she tried to hold it to the side, it would flop over.
New York pizza is big, is really big.
It's big, but in order for it to like cantilever, you have to fold it.
Yeah.
Which she wasn't doing because they wanted it to look like a piece of pizza. So they had her hold it upright. like it was a puppet.
Hey, it's the free pizza now that's available. It must be Friday.
It's gotta
Dude
be.
with the mustache is there, just chomping down on his free pizza. Yeah. Felicity's showing off the product. I mean, this totally fits.
And this also, I'm glad to see, Fish, you and I are back in our groove because I continue to notice things that are just totally useless and get really excited about them. Woo! All right, so we've now basically heard from most people who would have heard from Noel that they haven't heard from Noel. So we're going to go non-documentary onto the screen of the graphic they want to use for this episode. And it's like flames, but green.
Yeah.
And it says, Noel's missing.
Yes. Sean is not as good as Noel at computer graphics.
Really not.
And he would like to know how it looks. And
Felicity's not loving it. She feels like it's kind of hokey. Not just the graphic, but the whole experience.
The color was a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of it. She's worried about Noel now. She doesn't like the hokey graphic.
Yeah, but her day's about to get a lot better.
Ben shows up.
In walks Ben.
Yeah, Ben's got home from his 5 o'clock arrival for his flight, and they reunite.
I know. I love this scene. I love it because it starts with them laughing.
Yeah, they're laughing, they're hugging, they're kissing, they're happy.
Everything is just happy, giggly, happy.
Yeah.
And then
Felicity's like, can I immediately interrupt this with something very serious? I found this place. And
Ben's like, you took it already, didn't you?
Took it. Yeah, he knows. He's like,
doesn't even miss a beat.
Yeah, she's like, I did, but it would be so easy to get rid of. Do you want to live? He's like, yes, I do want to live together. He hasn't seen the place yet, though.
I feel like he said yes because he's happy and he sees her and he thinks maybe this will be a fun adventure. He's going to regret this real soon.
Yeah, he's going to regret it pretty soon. But and other things people are regretting. We're going to get a shot of Megan and Julie and Elena. And they are moving, looks like a really heavy chest of stuff.
Yeah, that's Megan's trunk from her room. That's
the word I wanted, trunk.
Yeah, it's a traveling trunk. Megan's outfits have gone way downhill in this episode. Maybe this is her casual look. I don't know what's happening. But no, gold slip with like rainbow spandex pants. Mm-hmm. This is not Megan. This is not
there's
Megan.
A lot of things here that we're seeing that are a little different about Megan now. For example, she has a whole minor speech, a bunch of different lines here where she basically says thanks without the thanks.
I know. She explains, look, I was supposed to stay with Earl. Didn't work out. I just
wanted to say,
I know Sean put you up to this, and I'd kind of, maybe, well, sort of.
They're like, you're welcome. You're welcome.
She's like, okay, great. Didn't have to say it.
That's pretty typical of Megan, I feel like, to not be able to say the thing, but even to want to express a thank you, I think is a big development for her with these people.
Yeah, I will
It's come a long
say,
way.
um, very 90s phrase that she used, don't puss out on me. Yeah,
Hmm.
feel like this is, well, I guess 90s to the early 2000s. Um, this was the age of calling everyone a pussy all the time. And
Mm.
it's unfortunate, and I'm glad that it has passed. I will just
Okay.
say that.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. All right, Fish. Here's the moment. Felicity and Ben, they're going to see the apartment. Ben's going to see it for the first time. We're non-documentary here, okay? For a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we just see it all hit Ben's face at the same moment. It's
And let me tell you, this is not the worst apartment ever. It's really not. Um,
not great though.
it's not compared to where he's been living,
True.
just like a multi-million
Or where she was
dollar.
going to live.
That's true too. I mean, this is like a normal level apartment for like college students who aren't living on campus. My first apartment, you know, it had some similarities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not that bad, but they make it sound bad. And when I say sound, I really mean sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put a lot of effort into the sound effects for this apartment. Um, we'll get there in a moment. For now, we're just seeing a quick shot of them in this space, and Ben is facing away from Felicity, so we are feeling the gravity of what this place is hit him. And
But I feel like we hear at that moment like dripping water or something that like just indicates, oh no.
there's also like a constant crying baby sound in the background where I kept thinking it was maybe like a neighbor of mine or maybe a neighbor of yours, but then every time they would switch away, it wasn't there anymore. So it was like they actually put a constantly crying baby in this like some other apartment near them. And we were
I
just
didn't
supposed to,
notice that
yeah, it was
at
driving me
all.
nuts.
Oh.
But it wasn't one of my neighbors. So I think there was something that they actually put in there. Yeah. And then so he's just sort of gazing around this place, feeling horrified by it. And then Felicity's like, and this is the nook. And
I
it's like
know.
the
There's the
breakfast nook.
breakfast nook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a breakfast nook.
It'd be perfect.
So now we're going to go to a very like when Harry met Sally style. They're going back to the documentary style. And Sean's going to be doing these quick cuts between things he's talking to Ben about and things he's talking to Felicity about. And we're seeing the stark contrast of how they feel about this apartment. And Ben's just like, it's a hellhole.
Yeah. He's like, I do not like this. It's like a hellhole. It's an actual hellhole.
Which is cut
And
around Felicity being like, it's so romantic.
yeah, she's like, I love it. I think Ben really loves it. And he's like, I hate it.
Yeah.
And,
and we're just
like,
getting these like a couple seconds at a time cuts between them, giving these polar opposite reads.
Yeah. And Ben is very clear. He's like, I care about her too much. I am not going to tell her. And she's like, I'm sure he would tell me if he didn't like it. I think he loves it. He's like, I hate it.
And Sean lies for Ben. He's like, yeah, he loves it. She's like, really?
Yep. Yep.
No.
That is not the truth.
It's
Everyone in your life
not
is lying to you right now, Felicity.
Everybody, including Sean and Ben. So, okay, we're going to get another Richard scene. Richard's full detective now, okay?
Dun, dun, dun.
He's been gathering evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And while the friends haven't heard anything about Noel, here's what he does know.
Yes.
At one point, Noel called his mom, right?
Could have been.
Now, I'm going to be honest, I didn't gather all the information here because I was stuck on the Nolan Ryan card of it all. But so Richard has spoken to Noel's mom, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Which
let's just admit we all knew that That's exactly what he'd do.
Yeah.
Um,
He
I would love to
surely
see
knows
him.
Noel's mom on a first name basis.
Oh,
Like,
she
that's
is
the
in
deal.
his phone,
Yeah.
probably speed dial two, well, maybe three, after Noel went back to one and Sean's at two.
It has to be,
Um,
right?
yeah.
Because how else? I mean, he can't reach Noel to find out how to reach Noel's mom. So he has
No,
this contact. I mean, I guess you could like what
there
dial the
were the white
operator.
pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, those did exist back then.
He has her
Or,
programmed. All right. He
yeah,
knows her. He's got all of Noel's emergency contacts
yeah.
stored somewhere.
I mean,
Um,
we will get to this and talk more about it later, but let's just say I'm assuming at this point that Richard does have a very similar tattoo as the Doritos girl
maybe.
on
The
some part of
other
his body.
the other evidence that Richard brings up, and he's like, okay, the mom thing didn't freak you out. Well, how about this? So
Uh,
Noel's brother,
yep, named
Ryan,
Ryan.
received a baseball card in the mail. It was a baseball
I
card of
thought it
Noel and Ryan.
I thought it was a postcard that he sent to him
It could have
with a
been.
picture of Nolan Ryan on it.
Was that what it was? So it was baseball star Noel and Ryan, and okay,
Yes.
Noel and
And
Ryan.
Ryan,
Uh, and it was
right?
postmarked from New York,
Right. Noel is in the city. He's here.
but he's not registered for school.
So we
Where's my buddy?
exactly
Yeah.
something has happened that has prevented him from coming back to Richard.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that the postcard is coming from within the city.
Yeah. So, okay. The plot thickens. All right, folks.
Mhm.
Where is Noel anyway?
We
So
don't
we're
know.
gonna drop that for a minute. We're gonna go back to the non-documentary stuff. We're going to encounter the apartment through Sean's eyes now.
And Sean just verbalizes everything that I've been thinking about this whole situation. He just
Mm-hmm.
walks in the door and goes, "Oh no. Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Ben agrees with every "oh no."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
That's
he
the
starts
nook.
walking around and showing the confirmation of it all.
Yeah.
The pipes start to bang, and Ben's like,
Mhm.
"What is that?" Sean's like, "Well, it'll probably go away." And Ben's like, "Okay, let's say it does. Let's imagine it does. I still have to live in this place." Then he turns on the faucet, gets a glass of water. I don't know. It's definitely brownish. And he's
Yeah.
like, there's activity in the water.
When were Brita filters invented? I feel like
Before this,
this
I
was a
think.
Brita moment because we
Mm-hmm.
had we had Brita filter. Yeah, we
If your
definitely
water
did
looks
then.
like that before Brita can't do enough for you.
I don't know. Brita's pretty good.
Okay. I mean, just
I've
knowing the
also,
water used to be like that would still be a problem for me.
yeah, I guess I've had water that I 100% know would have killed me before I put it through whatever process I had to put it through, which sometimes was just sticking an iodine tablet in it and shaking real hard. And then everything that was in there, yep,
Travel. Yeah.
living,
Okay.
living. That was me
Living in
living
other
abroad.
places. Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe this doesn't freak me out quite as much as it freaks you out, but
this wouldn't work for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sean is really keyed in on what's important. He's gonna have to find a new roommate.
Yeah, yeah. And Sean's also gonna try to he's got an idea. He can help Ben. It'll be a Hail Mary, but maybe they can figure this out.
I mean, this is why Ben has brought him. He
Yeah,
wants Sean's genius,
yeah.
and it's gonna take a minute. Sean needs a minute.
And we'll
So
see
yeah,
in a good minute what that'll be. But
he's gonna
first,
try.
we're
He's
gonna go
gonna
back to the
try.
documentary. We're gonna catch up with Javier, and Javier's telling a little story about the significance of him going to school.
I really like
Um,
this actually. I thought this was so sweet.
yeah, this was nice. So we're going to get a whole little story about Javier's mom, who calls him or called him Jota, which is J. Just said it's the letter J in Spanish. And so his mom was hopeful about Javier being the first in their family to go to college. And Javier kind of blew it off. He was like, I want to have fun. I want to party. I want to go on a date instead of take the Spanish equivalent of the SATs or whatever that was.
Look, he had hair. He was a
Mm-hmm.
party guy. There was a dude named Guillermo,
Yeah.
and there was a beach. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
expect? He's only human.
He's only human. He's only a man. So he didn't do the thing he was supposed to do. He didn't go to college when his mom wanted him to go to college or had hoped that he'd go to college, but he's going now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he wants to take it seriously. He wants to have the whole experience, and he better go study.
Well, but he will go study, but he does. I mean, this is such a big deal to his mom, but he hasn't told her.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know yet because her 65th birthday is coming up. And what he'd like to do is give her one of his report cards for her 65th birthday,
Mm-hmm.
assuming he has good enough grades. So that's why
Yeah.
he needs to go study. And I
Yeah.
thought for a second here, she's 65. How old do we think Javier is? Because we started watching this in college, I've always thought Javier was like in his early 40s managing this shop. I'm now thinking Javier maybe younger than me.
I kind
He's
of would
younger
have
than me.
thought somewhere in his 30s, but probably on the back half of that.
Yeah,
But
I'm thinking like, I don't know. I get it, it depends on his mom. I don't know, but like 35, back half of 30s. I'm just like, wow. I don't know. I've just always stuck him in that like early 40s category, and just to have this moment of
he
like,
could still be, though, right? I mean, if mom is 65, he could still be in his 40s. So
he could, but I don't think he is
I
now.
don't think he is either. I think he is maybe upper 30s.
I believe Javier is younger than me, which is, it's just a shock to my system.
Okay, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
So we're going to go back to the non-documentary style coverage. And so Sean and Ben have done something with this apartment, and Felicity is now going to return to the apartment to see the work.
She's going to see the genius that will fix the apartment for any man.
Mm-hmm.
Put a giant TV in it. I
Yeah,
mean,
Sean must have had another connection, and they put
yep.
they had a
Shaped.
weirdly shaped, like curved screen.
And
I don't know
that
what
was
I
a
was
thing.
looking at.
No, that
Yeah.
was a thing back then. It had something to do, I think, with like perspective or something. It was before it is kind of a flat screen, but they were curved. I don't remember them being that curved,
It's
but
pretty
there
curved.
definitely were curved TVs.
Okay.
And I can't remember exactly why, because I really didn't care that much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this is it. This is the big idea. And Felicity walks in and is just like, whoa, don't, don't, I mean, that seems like it was probably expensive.
Mm-hmm. She has just come back from buying all this really practical stuff. And she's got a bag of practical stuff in her hands, and he's like, okay, I got our first appliance. And it's this huge
Mhm.
TV, and she's like, oh, and you can see now how much they're still not saying to each other, because
Yeah.
Ben never was comfortable to tell her that he didn't want to take the place once he saw it. And now we're having this whole interaction with Felicity where she's looking at this TV and she's like, yeah, I was just out getting like, cleaning supplies and stuff like that. And oh, but you got a TV, sort of like a little
Yeah. It's
passive
like,
aggressive.
we could have
And
afforded a better apartment if you hadn't had that TV.
yeah,
And she opens the
okay.
door and she bumps the TV. And he's like, come on, let's be careful. This is the one thing in this apartment that I love. I mean, sorry. Oh, you're also, oh, Man.
When she bumped the TV, you gasped.
Yep. Because I
You were
knew.
like,
I knew what the reaction to that would be.
yeah, it
Because,
was
come on, she
something.
really doesn't have that much of a leg to stand on. She's like, I got an apartment for us. And he turns around and he gets a TV. I mean, this is just typical, right? It's just typical of your first apartment with someone.
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
little bit of
I have
your.
had kind of this exact experience where it's like, we're gonna have a giant TV in the bedroom. I'm like, no, we're not.
It's a low grade War of the Roses sort of a situation. Very, very low grade, but it's they were just seeing the passive aggression come out while they're just both unhappy with each other's choices. And
Yeah. And
but
Felicity says it's fine.
so Ben specifically is like, you don't think it's too big, is it? She's like, you know what? We'll watch really romantic movies on it.
No.
And you
She
just
realizes she can't really say anything and
yeah.
like, but she hates it. And
Yeah.
he really hates the apartment. And
And
it's
he's
just
gonna
like,
hate the really romantic movies that she wants to watch on it. So did he win? I ask you. At
well,
what cost?
look, once there's a remote, I'm guessing that thing is going to be on Sports Center if they can afford cable.
Yeah.
Um, so here's the question we would like to pose to you, dear listeners. This weird curved TV is located over another appliance that we believe may be some sort of weird washing machine. What is going on with this washing machine? Why is there this weird thing that comes out from the top? Is it a washing machine? We don't know.
So my
Um,
theory is that it's a washing machine, but the door, it's a side load washing machine, and the door opens up like those cars that have doors that open up instead of to the side. I think it's
DeLoreans,
like
like Back to the
DeLoreans.
Future.
Yeah. So I feel that it's strategically placed over a washing machine with a DeLorean door.
And my thought was that it's a washing machine where you can put down the top and it's a griddle where you can make pancakes
Okay.
and bacon and other such stuff.
Two very different theories. What do you think, everybody? That's what we
Yeah.
want to know. What are you seeing when you look at this still shot
When you
from the
see a
episode?
washing machine, what do you think of? Back to the Future or pancakes? That's the kind of question you get.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to put a finer point on this. We're just going to briefly cut over to the ladies at the dorm, Megan and Julie and Elena. They're having a painting party. They're having fun. They're all sitting on counters and they're painting stuff. And Megan's telling a fun story about being caught having sex by her parents.
With Sean. Let's all remember that all of her sex stories now are going to be about someone that other people have to look in the face.
Yeah.
So yeah, also, did they not learn from the last painting party? Like, at least there's no wallpaper this time. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, so Felicity is going to call in the middle of this, and I think we're getting that real contrast between like the disheveled apartment and people having fun and having life in this like dorm apartment. And Felicity is going to call. Julie's going to pick up, and they're just having a quick chat, and Felicity is like, maybe we'll christen the apartment tonight, but she gets interrupted by the sound of a giant bug running across the floor. Now, the sound effects for this cracked me up every time because what did it sound like? It sounded like a person with really small feet running across the room. Or
yeah, I feel like they were going for scuttling.
Yeah.
And yet what they got was like quick toddler. Like, I don't know.
It was definitely, I appreciate that they were trying to give us sound effects to indicate the bug because we weren't seeing the bug.
Yes.
But the bug was way too big it was like a bug with little mics on its feet, It's like, hold on a second. We're going to put this boom mic over you, Roach.
Yes.
Or we're going to mic up. We're going to give you a little lav mic for your collar so we can pick up the sounds of your feet scuttle. It would crack me up every single time.
Yeah.
So we get the sound of this small toddler / giant bug running across the floor, and we just see Felicity go in the middle of a sentence. It's like,
there's a bug.
but it couldn't be a bug that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it can. I can tell you from living in places with water like that, there are plenty of bugs that are going to be that large.
I mean, this is straight out of the book Metamorphosis, you know? Like, this
are
is
you
it.
turning the toddler into a bug?
I might be. Maybe
wow.
It was originally a toddler, and then it had the activity in the water, and then it was like, now I'm a bug.
Yeah. Maybe that was the crying baby that you've been hearing.
That's exactly it. So the baby was crying before, and then at some point it went like, oh, I'm Phil. And started scuttling across the room and lighting cigarettes and being a fire hazard.
All right, I agree.
This is why I didn't write this show. I'm just saying it works out pretty perfectly, though. Okay.
I mean, yeah. Look, they gave us the sound effects. We just ran with it.
That's what we did. If you're going to use sound effects like that, who approved them? Like, we need a sound effect for a bug. And somebody was like, tapping across. It was like, who was like, yeah, that's it. That's the one. Anyway, we need to up the stakes a little bit more with Noel.
Yes, we need Javier back to tell us some more.
Yeah, and this is just going to be a really quick one, documentary style, but Javier has been checking in with his relatives. They don't know where Natalie is.
No one can find her.
Yeah. He's doing the reverse search. He's the only one looking for Natalie in this whole situation.
He's pretty much assuming they're together. So
yeah,
if he can locate Natalie, he can locate Noel and perhaps save him.
Yeah. Okay, so we've upped the stakes, but now we're going back to the apartment. We're going to go non-documentary style. And I feel like this sequence of events is akin to Final Answer or Finally or any of that really good stuff where they just like set up as much chaos as possible.
I thought it was a definite callback to when Give Me an O.
Yeah,
right?
Or like that, for sure, yeah. Without the intention of having sex.
Because there was a fire. They potentially were going to have sex.
They're talking about christening the apartment, but they haven't
They've got like Latin music in the back, and it ends in a fire.
So it is a good callback to that. So yeah, they're starting to.
Someone comes in.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying.
Look at you. Look what you did. Amazing. So basically, they're talking about christening the apartment. They get interrupted by scuttle, 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 scuttle. Sound of huge bug.
Yeah.
And they're in the middle of kissing, and Felicity's like, "Ooh!" And it's like, what? And she's like, it's a bug.
And Ben is like, so what?
Take care of it, Ben.
You're the man. Go do it. And Ben's like, yeah, I'm a man. I don't care about a bug. Get over here.
Now, I want to interrupt this retelling for my note from an optimist.
And before she does, she's taking a sip of water, which I'm assuming means she's got something good.
Yeah. Living with a person who takes care of bugs. It's something that I appreciate because I don't have that person. As an optimist, I think it's amazing. And if you have a person if you don't like having to take care of every bug, whatever that means to you, whether it's scooping it up and bringing it outside or smashing it with a shoe or disorienting it with some sort of cleaning, whatever that looks like for you, if you don't like having to do that, being caught by surprise by an unwelcome tenant that you have to take care of, if you have somebody who can do it for you, boy, does that change everything. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. I'm exhausted. Can't wait to get to bed. Oh, yawn. All right, let's go. No, there's a spider over the bed. It's like, maybe I'll sleep on the couch tonight. Maybe I'll give the spider the room. Maybe, maybe I'll just ask it for some rent money in the morning and then we're good. I don't know.
Yeah. Melissa has a thing about, I guess, bugs or say lizards
Yeah.
that are on the ceiling. She has what I believe is an irrational fear of them falling.
I mean, I have irrational fears about things. I don't know if this is a particularly irrational fear. I feel like I want it gone.
Disagrees, but I feel like it is an irrational fear to believe that, a bug like a spider or lizard are just going to randomly fall on you because evolutionarily
a spider
speaking,
lays down with its own web. All right.
Yeah.
It will come down. It will bite you. I've woken up in the morning with spider bites. So I know this can happen. All right. That's a thing. Now, what you're referring to, what you are conflating here is a story about geckos / lizards, which is what I was calling them at the time, that may or may not fall on your face at night. Okay, here's the story, guys. All right, let's just everybody just kick back here for a second.
Okay,
so Fish and
before we go fully into the story, I'll just say I do live with a person who can take care of bugs.
Oh.
And I live alone. So that will tell you just a little bit about where this story is going.
Well, I can do it and I have to because I'm the only one here. I'm just saying it would be nice.
If we're together, what happens is.
Yeah. So, okay. So back in the day, what was this, like 2010, 2009, somewhere in there, 2008? Probably 2009 or 2008.
Yeah.
Fish and I decide we made kind of a last minute decision to go to Fiji for the holidays.
Yeah.
We were living in different places at the time. We were going to connect. We were going to fly over to Fiji. We're going to have, I don't know, were we there for like a week?
We were there for like 2 weeks. We only had reservations for the first 2 nights. And we were there over Christmas and New Year's.
Okay. So I feel like we were at the first place for just a little bit longer than that, but maybe we weren't. So we had reservations for the very beginning of the trip, but we were having a hard time actually finding reservations because it was sort of late in the game for Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, maybe. And so we got to Fiji with only the accommodation planned for the very beginning of the trip. And then I knew somebody in Fiji who was a business person.
Minister of Tourism.
Yeah.
She knew the Minister of Tourism of Fiji.
So I checked in because it was like, we're not going to find something. Okay, we've checked a lot of places. We're not going to find something. Let me phone a friend. So I checked in with this guy and he's like, okay, here's the deal. We have a really cool place for the last however many nights of your trip. It's brand new. We don't know a thing about it. And before that, for like the couple days around Christmas, should I even name the place?
No.
Okay. So I will not name the place out of respect and not wanting to be sued. Right. So he's like, and okay, so then there's going to be there's like a couple days here around Christmas. It was either Christmas Eve and Christmas Day or Christmas Day and Boxing Day that we're having a hard time finding anything, but there's this one place on what we're going to call the party island that does have availability. So we're like, all right, fine. That's cool. Let's book both places. We're good. We're solid. So we show up at this place and we check in and somebody escorts us to our bure, our hut. And our bungalow, if you will. They take us past all the developed areas. Okay. they're like, oh, look at all the people playing. There's like courts over here for like games, and there's like this over here, and there's like all this, and look at all this beautiful stuff. And we keep walking past all of that stuff. And then we get to this bungalow that's a little, I'm going to call it ramshackle.
A little bit.
And there's like birds just like walking in and out of the place. And she lets us in and then runs away.
Yes.
But before she does, she says, okay, so this place only has one bed. So if you want, you can come back tomorrow and see if we have a place with two beds. And we were like, all right. And then she runs, right? Runs away. And we walk in, and there were lizards everywhere inside the apartment. Everywhere. There were at least like the
little tiny circular bungalow
of
lizards.
Yes.
It was just the lizards and us.
It was
the bed
so many lizards.
Was entirely covered in lizard poop.
It was covered in lizard poop. I mean, it was just, there were spiders on the windows, which I was less worried about than the lizards.
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to sleep in here?
Yeah, it was not going to be a thing.
Yeah. And then there was this like ceiling fan. I was like, well, maybe if we turn the fan off at night, they'll at least like fling off of it instead of dropping straight down. But that still wasn't enough. So I thought, okay, I'm going to sleep with like a shirt covering my face so that if anything drops on my face, at least I have that layer of protection. And then Fish was like, am I just giving you a sleeping pill? And it was like the one time ever that I've taken a sleeping pill. And then in the morning, I remember waking up and there was like lizards like chasing each other across the walls. And I remember like you know, when you first wake up and it hasn't all hit you yet, and you're like blissfully resetting for like 5 seconds, and then it hits you. And so I hear these
hellhole that she is in.
I hear all these lizards, and I'm like, ah! And I woke up and I shouted a giant expletive and sat up in the bed. I was like, I guess you're up.
Yeah. Since she had been passed out all night, and I had watched just this amazing, like, giant moth lizard battle.
Yeah.
That she totally missed, but it was like Mothra, Godzilla.
We called that one Raptor. Yeah.
He was, I mean, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was a night. It was a night to be remembered. Melissa doesn't remember it at all because she was passed out. Yeah. But yeah.
So we wake up in the morning and we're like, all right, well, maybe we should go back to the desk and see if we can get other accommodation for the evening. Mm-hmm. I mean, she did tell us after all that due to the one bed situation, if we want to go back and get a new room, we might as well. So we go back to the front desk. We bring all of our stuff with us. And Fish is like, you've got this. You talk to them. It's okay.
Yeah, they would know from how she presented herself that this was important.
I was exhausted looking and shaky. I was a little bit shaky coming off of this experience. So I go up to the woman at the front desk. I wait in line. However many people were being helped, I stand there and then I go
People
up.
were checking out. It was their busy time. I think there were like 2 other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I finally get up to the front and the woman's like, how can I help you? And I am speaking in this like sort of shocked. It's very monotone. I can barely get it out. And so I'm like, yesterday we checked in and you gave us a room with one bed and a lot of lizards. Today we were wondering if we could switch to a room with 2 beds and fewer lizards. I couldn't even get through it. I said fewer lizards, guys. I want a room with 2 beds and fewer lizards. And she was like, uh-huh. So she did. She gave us a room with 4.
We had 4 beds in the room.
And it was what? 2 lizards?
No, there were 3. There were 3 lizards, which I then jumped across all the beds with a broom, and because Melissa was not happy with only the 3 lizards. So she opened the door and stood outside, and I ridiculously jumped across 4 beds with a broom or whatever it was I had, and like hit the lizards like hockey on the ceiling until I got them out the door. And then when we closed it, there were no more lizards.
No more lizards, but 4 beds that we combined. We pushed them together.
Giant bed.
Make a giant bed.
I mean, it must have been like 10 feet long. I don't know. It was,
it was a really impractical situation. Oh, I'll never forget it. Yeah. We were wondering if today we could switch to a room with 2 beds and fewer lizards.
Yeah.
You get what you ask for, folks.
Always ask. It's always worth asking.
You never know. And by the way, the story ends happily where the last place that we ended up having accommodation was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And super cheap. Because
it was brand new. Nobody knew what it was. Yeah. It was called the Amanuka Island Resort. I don't know if it still exists, but it was awesome.
Beautiful.
It had like a whole movie theater. It was cool.
Yeah. I mean, some of our favorite memories were made there, and maybe we'll sprinkle them in as we go.
Yeah.
But all of this is to say that
Felicity wanted Ben to kill the bug.
Yeah, I am the type to kill the bug / chase the lizard. I will be that for you.
Yeah.
And Melissa is the type who wants someone to do that.
I would prefer it.
Yeah. So
when you live alone, you don't have that option. You have to deal with it if you want it dealt with. And I accept that. I just don't like it.
Yeah. And
especially when you're like just about to go to bed and you're like, oh man, unwanted visitor at this time of night.
Yeah, I just leave it. But again, that's me. So yeah, I'm feeling Ben when he's like, really?
Yeah.
You gotta get the bug. All right. Yeah. Well, I guess we're gonna.
And he hasn't actually seen it, so he doesn't really understand the scope and the scale.
No, but he's heard it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Felicity's like, kill it, but then Ben loses attention because he's hearing the pipes. The pipes are going off.
Yeah, and he's also like, it's way over there.
Mm-hmm. There's that too. Yeah. Yeah. And now he's distracted by the pipes and he's like banging on the floor. He's like, would you? Yeah. I'm like, when you stop it down there.
And then I just love this next moment.
Well, he's going to kick the ass of the neighbor whose pipes are banging.
Downstairs neighbor is getting an ass kicking.
Yeah.
And there's a knock at the door.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and he opens it. And there's this smoking girl.
Yeah.
She's just standing there. And she just looks up at Ben and says something along the lines of, my bathtub. When I get in my tub, pipes go bang.
Yeah.
And it just sort of reduces Ben to a little puddle of goo.
Yeah. He's just kind of smiling at her.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bye.
Manager's trying to fix it. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felicity looks back at him and she says, nice ass kicking.
Clearly stating that she now is the one who wants to kick someone's ass.
Fortunately, they don't get to ruminate on this argument for too long because the bug comes back out. The scampering bug with the shoes, with the tech shoes.
Toddler-esque bug.
Yeah. And now Ben actually sees it. And he's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
All right.
He recognizes at this point that it is in fact something that needs to be dealt with. And they don't have any raid. There's no raid, product placement. They didn't have the budget. So they're going to grab some cleaning supplies and just
some sort of a spray cleaning supply. And Fliss is like, I don't know about that. He's like, no. This is part 1 of the plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to disorient him with this. And then he's going to get the shoe.
Yeah. You're going to disorient him.
Okay.
Felicity's going to spray it. And then he's getting the shoe. I mean, this seems like a decent plan. In my first apartment, I had wasps. that would
Mm-hmm.
fly into my window
Right.
because there's a whole wasp nest outside, and I had
Oh.
raid. And the thing is, raid isn't for wasps, so you just kind of spray it at them as they're flying around the room enough to like get their wings wet, and sometimes they fall, sometimes they don't, but they get a little slower, so then you just have to kind of bat them down and crush them and then throw them back out the window. I'm telling you, this apartment was not that bad.
Yeah. Wasps are dangerous.
Yeah,
So then he's gonna bend down so he can see this bug. He can hear him breathing,
he can.
but he can't see him very well. So he's wondering if Felicity can grab the lamp and bring the light a little bit closer, which
She
she
does.
goes to do. But they have one of those really like one of those sort of upright lamps with the big shade that how would you describe that lamp, Fish?
Weird.
It was like a big art deco lamp. It was just like I
It
don't
was
know.
weird.
Yeah. It was all shade, like floor to ceiling. I don't know. So
Flammable.
very flammable. So Felicity goes to plug in said lamp in an outlet that sparks because all of them do. And the whole lamp catches fire instantly.
Yep.
It's just a ball of flames.
Yep.
And then,
yep. Big fire.
yep. And so now Felicity has to deal with this. So she's going to look for a fire extinguisher under the sink, but more bugs. And he's like, fire is more important than bugs right now.
Fire trumps bugs.
Yeah. So she grabs the fire extinguisher, which is fresh
Tiny.
out. It's just not working anymore.
No, all done. And so at that point,
She
Ben
goes
is
to the door.
Yeah. Well, and Ben has decided that he's going to run outside. First he's trying to, I can't remember if it was him or her. I think he was trying to like hit it with a
Yeah, he is trying to. She's looking for a
shirt.
fire extinguisher. He is using like a shirt to try to
Yeah.
knock the flames out, which is not going to work because it's
And
so
I'm
much
assuming
fire.
this is like an electrical fire, so you can't throw water on it. That's why
I
they made it the
guess.
fire extinguisher.
Yeah. So Felicity goes to the door because she's probably going to run out to see if she can find a fire extinguisher. But Javier's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, we have fire!" And he
Yeah.
cries out fire. But then he instantly is like, "Oh, I really don't like that TV." Meanwhile, there's this fire just exploding.
So Ben's gonna deal with this. He runs outside, he punches his way through the emergency glass, grabs the giant fire extinguisher, runs back in and goes, clear, clear, down, down.
And he blasts it with the fire extinguisher and puts out the fire.
Yes.
That story ends happily.
He did at least as well as the trained firefighter from the Gimme an O episode. He let everyone know.
Just a little fire, bugs, firing bugs.
Fire and bugs. That's his life now.
Pretty much
fire
catches us up on the whole situation. Yeah.
And bugs.
Yep. All right. So that was ridiculous. Yeah. And we're going to get the aftermath of that in a minute, but first we're going to go to a quick documentary style Elena and Tracy scene. This was kind of a sweet story.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think if it reminds me of something else that they've experienced together. I don't know. So basically Elena and Tracy were competing to get placement in a class. There was a chance that both or neither of them could have gotten it, but it was a limited enrollment class. So there was a chance that only one of them would get it. And so
only 25 students get in.
Mm-hmm. And so they decided to make a little bit of it. They gamified it and they decided, okay, we're going to go to dinner and we're going to order a whole bunch of food. And if both or neither of us get in, we'll split the cost of the dinner. And if one of us gets in, then that person will pay. So they're sort of both telling this story. And we find out that the way they were going to find out about the enrollment was they were going to be given an envelope with a number. And if you were 1 through 25, I guess, you're in the class. So they both get their envelopes. They were going to open them up at dinner, but Tracy decides to check it out beforehand, and he gets real sleuth-like, and he finds a way to open the envelope and then reseal it, and he finds out he got in and Elena didn't, so he switches their numbers. Mm-hmm. But when they go to dinner, Elena had switched the numbers back.
I actually thought it was so sweet.
It was really sweet.
Because then Elena says that Tracy like really wanted to get into the class, and he got all teary-eyed, and then we see Tracy and it's like clearly not about the class. He's like, my girl switched the numbers back.
Yeah. And you could see how emotional and like proud he was over it, and just like touched, I guess is the word that I want. He was touched by it. I thought that it was a real signal of Elena's changing. Freshman year Elena, sophomore year Elena would never, like, she would have been so cutthroat and competitive and needed to get that class. And for us to get this bit from her where she's like, he really wanted that class, is an Elena that I don't feel like I've seen before. And I guess it happened over the summer.
And he's seeing, I feel like he's seeing her growth, and he knows that it's because they're together, and it just seems to really mean a lot to him, which is going to kill me whenever the issues start coming up, because I just know they're going to come up. With that look on his face from that earlier shot, I know something's coming, and I'm really not looking forward to anything coming. I like them together. I want them to stay together.
They're great together.
They're so great together.
And this is really sweet. And I think they're both changing, right? Because I think Tracy's also not being that like cocky version of himself that he kind of needed to be to get her attention. We haven't seen that version of him in any of these mini scenes we're getting from them in this episode.
Yeah.
They don't need to play those games anymore. I feel like they're sort of settling into prioritizing each other. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see this between them.
Yeah, I think they're cute.
Yeah. So we're going to go back to some non-documentary stuff. Felicity is regaling Julie and Megan with the aftermath of what happened in the apartment. She's like, well, Ben got a whole bunch of stitches. Broke the glass, had to get the fire extinguisher. Megan's like, that's nothing.
It was like 3 or 4 stitches.
Yeah. Then Megan's like, that's nothing. I got more in my ass cheek. Oh.
She's like, I have 15 stitches in my right ass cheek. And Julie just turns to her and goes, what? How did that happen? And Megan's like, none of your business.
Yeah, well, it's not. Okay.
My ass cheek.
Yeah, but Felicity's like, let's just get back to the topic here. It's hard in that apartment. There's a beautiful woman, and there's bugs, and there's rats, and we're cranky. It's hard. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, and she's right, This is what living with someone is like at first, especially if you have a crap apartment. So, like, and even if you have a really nice apartment, it's always hard. And I liked how you talked about before, the girls are just hanging out in their apartment and having fun, and it's just not so much work, right?
Yeah.
And
even when they're doing work, because we saw that scene where they were painting together, but they were like having fun, and they were telling stories, and they were laughing with each other, and it does not feel
I should rephrase. It's not so much emotional work.
Yeah.
It is a lot to be moving in with someone, and it's you either work through it or you don't.
Yeah. And Megan makes a point, domestication is the enemy of romance. And Julie's just agreeing. They're kind of battling it out over that point. But Felicity comes away with it and says, you know what? I'm not giving up on this. She's determined. She's going to try again.
Yeah. I mean, at first she's like, maybe I'll come back here. And this is where Megan's like, whoa. Hey, now I live here. And Felicity had gotten up and like walked away, and she looked at Julie, and she's like, I'm not going anywhere. To which I enjoyed Julie looking back at her and saying, don't bully me. I'm like, was she really bullying you? She was just like, I would like to stay in the place where I'm now situated.
Yeah.
But, all right.
We're going to get another version of this scene playing out between Ben and Sean, where Ben is just taking a beat. He's taking a moment to lie on the couch in the loft. He's like, do you mind
The
if I hang out here?
beautiful loft he used to live in.
Yeah, because it just sucks at the apartment. Can I just be here for a minute?
Yeah.
And
So much
Sean,
crap to deal with.
yeah, and Sean makes a whole point about how, like apartments are really just hassles.
Yeah.
And who would want to sign up for that if they had the choice? And Ben's like, even the TV, it's just become a fort for the animals and insects.
Mm-hmm.
Even the thing that was good about the apartment is just not anymore. And he has this whole reflection on just how everything is a discussion. Like, where do you put the forks?
Yeah, because you're
Nothing's easy.
living with another person. You don't get to make the decision, and it's like you gotta tiptoe around each other. Is fork placement really important for this person? You don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. You're about to find out.
Yeah.
But this conversation ends up really in the same place that the one with Felicity just did, where Sean's like, you know what, one step at a time. Okay. What's your one step? And Ben's like, well, I could fix the sink.
Yeah. One thing I thought was again pointed is, Sean is kind of saying, this is such a big deal, just get another place. And Ben doesn't say anything like he did at the beginning where, oh, Felicity loves it so much and I just can't do it. No, what he says is the place is dirt cheap and I can't afford another place. So at this point, he's really not thinking about Felicity anymore. And so I do like that Sean steps in and at this point and is like, look, all right, get an idea, prototype, test. It takes some time. Take it one step at a time. You can do this. And Ben's like, all right, after my nap.
Okay. So that's what Ben's about to do. Now we're going to have two quick documentary style scenes. One that's so short, but belies so much. Julie.
Yeah, they just dropped two bombs on us, one after the other.
They did. Actually, you're right. Both of these are really kind of heavy. Julie, obviously when we left off at the end of season 2, Julie had been approached by Carol. Julie's dad was really sick. He needed a kidney, and they asked her to test to see if she was a match. So Julie's bookending this, and she tells the camera, well, I wasn't a match for the kidney transplant. My dad died. I got a chance to get to know him a little bit. He was a good guy.
Yeah, there's no way this is the end of this. I don't know what is going on, but they made it would be so random for them to have Carol come back for that one scene and then have this 2-second scene with Julie and then have this weird 2-second scene with her crying at the end where she's like, I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, he died, but she didn't really know him and it seems like she's really down. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but it's gotta be more than this.
Okay. I know that we are not a spoiler-free podcast, but I'm not gonna answer this because I feel like I want to get your reaction for this. And I think it would diminish that if I was just like, here's what's gonna happen next. The listeners who know, okay? But give it a minute for Fish. Your sense of this from what you've seen from Julie in this episode is that this is not the end of the story.
Yeah, because otherwise, why bother with it? You got 4 seconds of play out of this story. It would make no sense.
Okay. Well, that is accurate. It's not the very last thing that you're going to hear about this. So, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. And then we get the second big bomb. Felicity's going to cook. No, just kidding.
She's going to make rosemary chicken. Shocking.
She's actually going to eat something. No.
She's not going to, we're not going to see her eat rosemary chicken.
Yeah. But
Does
her
sound good though.
parents, it does sound good. Her parents are, in fact, getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Look, they tried. They tried and tried and tried. And we're going to hope that Edward Porter does not move back to New York, because that was creepy.
Yeah.
But
It's
it's
too much.
happening. It's happening.
Yeah. And Sean had made a point to ask about this, and she answered. So, we're getting that information, and all of these like big developments with their parents have now been happening off screen, where like Edward Porter just sort of disappeared from our screens, and then we find out it's because they're trying again, and now they're not.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end.
And I also feel here like they got plenty of mileage out of the whole her parents thing.
Mm-hmm.
It still feels like a little bit of a quick ending, but at least they got a lot of mileage out of that. So like if this was, it's probably not the last we'll hear of her parents, but
No.
like they did, at least compared to Julie's plot line about her dad,
Yeah.
they got plenty of mileage out of this story here.
Yeah, they definitely have really also unpacked it from Felicity's point of view a bit. But you're right, they're not, this isn't, we'll hear from Felicity's parents again. We'll see them both again. They're not going away forever. They've just been having them have these developments off screen, and then we'll deal with that when we see him again. So yeah, but that's
Now,
big stuff.
Big stuff. Now Ben and Sean are both about to potentially get themselves into a bit of a pickle.
Ben is indeed fixing the sink, which is
Trying.
good.
Trying.
He's trying.
He's failing.
But
he's
yeah.
trying.
So here's the problem. A knock on the door. It's Bridget Pasterchak, the neighbor, the dancer neighbor with the faulty pipes and the tub, right?
Yep. The downstairs neighbor. She'd like to use their bathtub. Now, here's the thing. I did not realize where the bathtub was located.
Mm-hmm. Where is
we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Well, because I don't think we see that till later. But all at this moment, even in a normal bathtub world,
okay,
I am screaming, say no.
That's what you said. I heard you say it. I was watching it with you. You were like, no, say no, Ben.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
You're alone in your apartment. Girl comes to door. Do not allow her in.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to get naked in your apartment. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and Ben does say no. He says no. And she just walks right past him into the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Says, well, let me just check if it turns on.
Just see if it works.
See if it works.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, Ben is just staring off into space going, okay.
Yeah.
Like he
wasn't a man excited about this woman entering the apartment, but he did say, okay.
I mean, he didn't really say it to her. He sort of said it into the ether as he was staring out into what he knew would be a very ugly future.
Yeah, he knows this is a problem, right? So he's going to make a call. But who is he going to call? Well, we're going to go back documentary style here for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is really documentary style, but it's certainly videotaped.
It's videotaped. So Megan and Sean are getting it on. They're about to get it on. They're in the foreplay stage. And Megan notices that there's a camera filming them.
She's like, is that a red light? Wait, is that camera on? Sean? And Sean here says no. He says it's not on.
Not on.
Completely looks Megan in the eye and lies about the fact that he is going to film them having sex.
She's like, you idiot. You put the camera on the side.
It's a better angle, you know? And this is why the two of them work. Because Sean is an idiot who, not because of his placement of the camera, but because you do not, and let me just say this, I have to say this, do not film yourself or other people having sex without their consent. This seems pretty boilerplate, like normal human being kind of thing. But for Megan, she's just kind of cool with it. She's like, you didn't need to lie to me. You put it over here. And Sean in this moment has the audacity to say, how dare you critique my creepy,
Like, don't call me
filming of
an
us.
idiot. Yeah. I mean, I guess he found the right person, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Then all of this is going to be interrupted by the phone. Okay.
Yeah. And Ben's got a problem too.
Ben's freaking out.
Yeah.
About the neighbor.
Yeah.
And Megan can hear this conversation too. And she's like, I heard about that neighbor, Ben. Get her out. And he's like, well, I couldn't stop her. Sean's like, that is not going to work. That is not an excuse you can use and have that be accepted wholesale. All right. That's the thing. So
the neighbor is currently in the bathtub, which is now and all I could say was door, because you see Ben facing away from the bathtub. The bathtub is right there. She's shaving her legs in the bubbles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut the door, man. Like, what is going on?
That's not a thing. You know why?
Why?
Because it's a living room bathtub.
It's a living room bathtub. This is certainly not okay. Ben, man.
Unfortunately, this is the kind of thing that happens in some small New York apartments. I remember a certain apartment from a family member where they had to put the refrigerator in the living room. And it was like, it's our living room fridge. This just happens. And that was the same apartment where they were located directly across from the Queens Midtown Tunnel toll booth. And all day, every day, all you hear was ding, ding, ding. After people would pay their toll and the thing would go up. It was like, this is this apartment.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you don't allow this to happen. She's naked in the middle of your apartment and you're in it. It doesn't matter
how many strategically placed soap suds there are, okay?
No.
Doesn't matter. And things are going to hit the fan real quick here because Felicity's going to come home.
Yeah. And she's going to say your favorite line.
Favorite line. And you laughed so hard when you heard it.
So
she puts the biggest grin and bear it fake smile on that she's ever had. She's like, can I talk to you for a second? It's this very tight, can I talk to you for a second?
And Ben's face, I mean, he just looks down at the ground. Yeah. His eyes cannot be removed from the tips of his shoes for his life. He's just like, this is going to be bad. I don't. And I just, a little bit of me feels for Ben here because I don't know what's going through his head, but like at no point was he about to cheat on Felicity with this girl. He is trying not to look at her. He said no. It kind of did feel like, yes, I guess he should have forcibly removed her from the apartment or like maybe sat in the tub and like refused to let her touch the handles. Like maybe he could have done that, but like there were not many good options available.
There weren't a ton of good options, and this definitely wasn't one of them, the one that he opted for. No. So Felicity brings him into the next room over, and she's like, the first thing Felicity said, I love this line.
Yeah.
What's she doing in our living room bathtub?
I mean, they've lived there like one day and they already are like, we have a living room bathtub. Like they've had a discussion about this. It's been deemed the living room bathtub. And wow. Yeah.
This devolves so quickly. it's just one of those fights. It's like
Mhm.
one of those fights where you just start bringing up all this other stuff and like all the stuff you didn't say before but was an issue before, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, like she won't be long. I didn't want her here, but she just came in. She's like, where
Felicity's
would
like,
you, I was gonna make dinner.
yeah, I was gonna
You
cook you
two
a
want dinner?
romantic dinner. Just passive aggressive as possible. She's like, I was gonna make it out there, but like, would you rather have it in here with her?
And I love the special the special dig of like, maybe you want to watch TV. Because it's been sticking in her craw all this time.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
Ben is just, he doesn't even know what to say, so he just blurts out, I don't even want to be here. Like, never would, like, did
Oh.
not want to live here. I, and then Felicity, of course, is like, I asked you. He's like, you didn't ask me. I couldn't say no. You'd already taken it.
He
She's
says
like,
there's no saying no to moving in with you.
yeah. And she's just, and you can tell, but the thing is, like, he did want to move in at first, like before he saw the place, before he realized how much work this was going to be,
Yeah.
like physical and emotional. And even when he says that, he's like, look, I am trying. Like, I was trying to fix the pipes. I got a coffee machine. He's like, I'm trying to make this work. And all the while, I mean, I don't know how you were feeling, but I'm like, there's a naked woman in the other room. Are
Well,
we
and
really
as
talking
this is
about
happening,
this?
there's a phone ringing in the other room,
Yes.
and they're interrupted by Bridget Pasterchek
Yep.
entering the room they're in,
Yep.
covered in soap suds, which I don't even know how they got this. Like,
She
what
is covered enough that nothing needs to be censored.
I wonder how they, like, what substance they used, like how they did that exactly. Because it looked like soap suds, but no way.
I
Anyway,
I think you could do that with like the right bubble bath. You could do
okay,
that.
all right,
I mean,
and not
it's
have the air
fixed
pop the
you.
bubbles as you're walking.
Well, they could have like put it on and then she just kind of sidesteps to the door. Like, we
I
don't
guess
watch her
so.
walk all the way there.
But presumably she had to cross the entire room to get from the living room bathtub to, like, what was it, the kitchen? I don't know. I don't know where they were.
I think they were just in like maybe the bedroom or like another room or
Closet or
something.
something.
I mean,
A
they were clearly
nondescript
behind,
room.
there was like a door.
Yeah.
So she's just like, yeah, I answered your phone
They
while
found
in your
Noel.
tub. Yeah, they found Noel.
Oh my God. It's so weird. It's so weird.
It is, oh, surreal.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments you have in life that I fully believe could have happened to someone like in the writer's room,
Mm-hmm.
that it is, you feel like you're having an out of body experience, but it's real. This is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
But
we're
they
going to
found
cut from
Noel.
this
So
to more
yeah,
serious things now because they found
that's what
Noel.
Richard. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the documentary style, and Richard is front and center. Okay. Richard has been doing some sleuth work behind the scenes.
And he
He's
has
been
the
going around town
appropriate,
with pictures,
yes, and he has the
Natalie and
appropriate
Noel.
music behind
Mm-hmm.
him. The like private eye detective music
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
behind who I'm now going to deem Private Dick.
Oh my God. How did that not happen before? Okay, great. So Richard has been going around town with headshots or
Yes.
some sort of picture of Natalie and Noel, or just Noel. I think Natalie and
I think
Noel.
he had two pictures.
Yeah. And he found somebody at the Skippy Club
Mm-hmm.
who knew Natalie and a guy named Leon.
Well, and Noel. And he said, Noel, it turns out, has been hanging out with this guy named Leon, who's a real big partier,
Mm-hmm.
real party guy.
So all the friends are going to go for a walk. They're going to start
All.
looking for Noel. All of them. They're walking in a big
This
group.
is where I started writing down people's names. I was like, nope, All.
It's everybody. And Felicity is complaining about Ben and Bridget Pastor check and the whole situation and how pissed she is. And then they're all obviously on a mission to get to Noel.
Yes.
And now we're going to go non-documentary style. We're going to get to the door behind which we think Leon is
Leon, who can lead us to Noel.
Yep. And Richard knocks on the door. And who answers it, Fish?
Noel. Sort of. Noel / Leon. Noel with streaked hair streaked.
Yeah.
With blonde streaks in his hair, facial hair, long open shirt, apartment just a mess, and just being kind of laid back about all of it. He's
and it's all like, who's Leon? And Noel's like, it's just Noel back. It's just a joke with a circle of people. It's fine. Yeah. You're like, whoa.
And it's not even a problem. And then we have more product placement. He's chilling out in that outfit and that hair and just drinking a Red Bull. It's like, I'm cool. I'm Leon. I drink Red Bull.
I'm sorry, it's a mess, but we're packing to go away for the weekend. You know, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, wait, look, we're worried. Okay, we're worried about you. Noel's like, why? I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Elena is pissed.
Elena's pissed.
She's pissed. She needs to be held back.
Been
by 2 people. She needs to be held back.
Yeah, it's like, where have you been? I had to pack the whole part. You were gone. You left me. He was like, I went to Cuba.
Yeah, they went through Canada. It's the way a lot of people used to go to Cuba.
It's true.
So don't check. They don't stamp your passport, so you don't have to, get a new one because it was illegal. Yeah. I spent a month. In Cuba. I mean, who knows what they did for the other 2 months?
And if you're wondering about who the we is, Natalie comes out.
Yes, she comes out, and everyone's like, I see. Cuba, Doritos girl, going away for the weekend, huh? What about school?
Yeah, Noel's not going back to school, guys.
No.
He's going to let the good times roll.
This does not go over well with many people. We're going to get all of their opinions on it.
We are. The first one we're going to get is Felicity. Felicity is trying to be, I guess, understanding of sort of. Like, she's like, look, I get that he's trying to be impulsive and fun.
Yeah, Felicity is being herself. She can't not focus on what she is doing.
That's correct.
She's like, oh, Noel, right. He's just doing what I'm doing. Like, that's what I was doing with the apartment.
Yeah, impulsive is fun.
Yeah, she's doing what she does. She's made it about herself.
Yeah. And then Elena is all like, there is a threat here. She's like, Natalie is trouble.
With a capital T.
That's it. And then Richard is just beside himself. He's going back for his friend. I mean, this is like, you can't leave a guy behind. I'm going back for my buddy.
I mean, yeah, that's the way he rolls. My favorite answer, I think, was Tracy's. He just looks at the camera and says, what's a Leon?
Yeah, it's a little weird, right? And then we're going to go back to the non-documentary style here for a moment. And Felicity is talking to Julie, and she's just sort of given up. She's like, you know what? We're just going to have to give up the apartment. I think that's the plan. That's the play here.
I have her talking to Javier.
Oh, Javier. You're right. I put J.
Okay. Yeah.
Could very well be.
Thought what might have happened, because I don't know that Julie would have given exactly this advice, because Javier says, look, don't give up so fast. Like, you're always going to have to fix things.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, you don't understand. After one night, there's just too much pressure, it's just too much. And he's like, look, I'm not going to argue with you there. It's always hard. And you just see this moment of like the two of them have become such good friends.
Yeah.
And I really love this.
Yeah.
So I think they like give each other a big hug or something. And it's just, I don't know. I felt like it was a really nice scene.
Yeah, there's a support system there for sure.
And remember,
but the
he's
opposite.
the one who's been giving Ben all the advice about like, don't give up on Felicity and you have to show her. And like, so like, he's the one who took Ben to the club, the T-Bone Club.
Javier's done a lot of heavy lifting for this couple here.
Yeah, he is Team Felicity all the way.
That he
or
is.
As we like to call them.
Some of us call it
Fen.
Yeah. In a very different level of support from that, we've got basically the opposite thing happening here. So Elena sees Julie crying in their apartment. It's Julie's just sitting there alone. She's crying. Elena's concerned. She's like, are you okay? What's happening? What's going on? But Julie just wants to be alone.
Yeah, and this is where I'm like this can't be the end of it. Like, there's something else going on because otherwise they wouldn't have done this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I just have to be critical of like Julie is wearing like more and more sporty gear, and yet as far as I can tell, she plays no sports.
Okay.
So I don't understand what's going on with that, but she's got like the weird track and field pants on, or the ones like warm-ups, just warm-up pants on. It bothered me. But yeah, so something's happening.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get one more quick documentary style scene where it's Ben at in front of the camera, and he's sort of replaying the recent fight. He's like, I shouldn't have walked out.
But this is like his MO, right?
Mm-hmm.
He runs away. He just, he walked out. He was frustrated with the apartment.
Yeah, and he thinks the apartment's a hellhole, but Felicity sees all this stuff and she sees a romantic place, and
she looks at all of like the dirt and the grime and the problems and just all of this and sees something beautiful in it.
Yeah. And I love this line from Sean. It's one of those things where it's like, who is Sean? Is he the oaf, or is he like, what is this
Dalai
guy?
Lama?
And Sean says to him, I've got news for you, man. Felicity looks at you with those same eyes.
Yeah.
So true.
I think that deserves an award.
Oh.
We're going to give this first award of the season. I'm going to go with like, I don't know if it's maybe Sean's wisest, but it's definitely his like most effective statement, because Ben takes off like he's just been shot out of a cannon.
It spurs Ben into immediate action. But it's also so true. It's like, yeah, she's a romantic and that's how she thinks of you. Like it's, don't try to kill that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hon, you see all the vermin that you're complaining about? Yeah, you got some of that too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not perfect.
So we're going to see what that made Ben want to do, right? So we're going to go non-documentary again, and we're going to see Ben apologize to Felicity. And it's really, he's being really genuine about it, where he's, there are things he shouldn't have done here along the way, but he wants to make it work.
And he has covered their very flammable apartment, remember, with romantic candles, and he set up this whole sort of thing for her as part of his apology. He just wants to show her that it is a romantic place and that they can make it work.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that.
That was nice. And I'm glad you got a chance to say that before Felicity gives him the next news, which is I already gave up the place. It's fine. Just relax. Slow your roll. It's okay. Just at ease. Okay.
And if we think about it, it's a very like what Elena and Tracy had just done. It's like people learning to care about the other person and put them first.
Yeah.
But also, I think, at least in this world, it's also Felicity starting to realize, hey, reality. Because she's right. She says our first 2 years were so hard,
Hmm.
and I want this year to be fun. And I don't think she's saying I want to take a step back or we shouldn't be serious, like when Ben said he wanted to have fun.
Hmm.
But it's what you were talking about. It's the conversation with the girls painting the apartment versus them starting to live together.
Hmm.
Don't rush it,
Let's not
you
get this
know?
heavy. Yeah, it can
Yeah,
be
let's
serious without
not.
being heavy.
Yeah. So Ben is Ben is on board with this.
Yeah.
He is ecstatic.
Hmm.
And he just sort of looks at her and says, but wait, we have the apartment for tonight.
That's true. And so they're going to christen the apartment. They're doing the romantic night in the living room bathtub.
Look,
Uh,
don't say it like that. This was gorgeous. They're
mhm.
playing Dancing in the Moonlight,
Yeah.
which is just so romantic.
Yeah.
And I get that it's a living room bathtub, but they're alone.
Yep.
It's surrounded by candles.
Hmm.
It is just, uh, you know, and they say to each other, hey, we do want to move in eventually,
Yeah, in the
just not
future
when it's
sometime.
so terrible, not in a hellhole,
Yeah.
not when we have a woman downstairs who's recently been shaving her legs where we're about to have sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's all that, right?
Well,
So we
one
leave
more
them
thing.
on this
Well,
scene.
I have one more question. So Ben makes a comment about things that they may have in this new hypothetical apartment.
Hmm.
One of the things he says is a bicycle cord on the roof.
Basketball court.
Court? On the
Basketball court.
basketball court.
Yeah.
Okay, that is so much better than bicycle cord.
That really triggered you what you thought you
It
heard.
really
Like,
did.
where's that blue bike helmet, Felicity? We
I
need
know.
it right
I
about
was
now.
like,
We're putting
who
up a
is this
velodrome.
bicycle for? Who is it for? All right, so we have basketball.
Okay.
I'm loving basketball. Okay, we
Don't you
both
worry
helped each
about it.
other out with words.
Yeah.
Um, this episode, it's
Yeah,
been
we sure did. It was good stuff.
yeah,
I'm glad that we cleared that up because that was going to be a red alarm sort
yeah,
of. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
5 alarm, red alert, whatever.
yeah. All of
Okay.
those.
So we leave them on that scene, and the last thing we're gonna see is a very different couples situation.
Well,
What just
we see two scenes.
okay.
The first is documentary style with Sean just shooting Javier,
Mm-hmm.
and Javier saying, I don't know what it's going to be, but with Natalie, something big is going to happen to Noel,
Yeah,
and it won't be good.
so true. And what is that thing, Fish?
And then Noel is carrying Natalie into what seems to be their apartment.
Over the threshold, if you will.
Over the threshold, and I just go, oh my God, they're married.
Yeah.
And he sits her down on the couch and says something along the lines of something Mrs. Crane. And I was
She
just like,
says, "Don't drop me." And he says, "I would never drop you. Never, Mrs. Crane."
oh, I don't think that's true. I think he's going to drop her or she's going to drop him.
Okay.
I don't see
What's your
this working
prediction?
out for the long term.
So you've had a couple people spoil you along the way about the existence of something named Leon. And here we are. Fish.
Yes.
What's your
It's
thought?
not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the facial hair, but honestly, we don't get much of him in this.
No.
And the
We're going to
hair
get a
is,
lot more of him in the next one.
yeah, I feel like I'll have more to say then because the hair was a shock. The rest of it, meh. And, the Doritos girl is gorgeous. So, I mean, honestly, him getting to marry her is not a step down for him. So,
Okay.
But I don't think this is gonna. I don't think this is gonna end well. I can't say that I think this is gonna end well.
Okay.
I mean, he's already had a kid / not had a kid, and now he's married. It's like, no, hon, did you not understand the meaning of fun? Like, lighthearted fun?
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Well, okay. I think we've been unpacking this episode. I think now it's time to talk about what the worst thing is from this episode. Are you ready, Fish?
I'm ready, and I'm not gonna lie, this one's kind of long.
Okay,
I had a lot to say.
All right, well, let's head into it, folks, for the You're the Worst segment.
You've been practicing, haven't you?
I have been, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Golf clap.
Thank you.
Golf clap. All right. I feel like, again, once I say it, it's not going to be a big surprise.
Okay.
Bridget Pasternak,
Check.
You're the worst. You come upstairs and you talk about yourself in the bathtub with your banging body and your beautiful hair and reduce Ben to a non-ass kicking puddle of goo. You get Ben in trouble with Felicity. You even remind Javier of Natalie. You're no good, Bridget. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good.
Oh.
Then, the unmitigated gall. Unmitigated. You show up at Felicity and Ben's apartment when Felicity is out. Announce you're a dancer while rubbing your neck and ask to use their living room bathtub. How dare you? And when Ben says no, you just push past him and ask to see if it works. And if that wasn't bad enough, you hop in and have a bubble bath and shave your legs. Where did the bubble bath come from, Bridget? Whose razor are you using? I didn't see a bathroom caddy with you at the door. You know what else I didn't see? A towel. Maybe that's why when there's a call on their phone, you answer it and you have to traipse across their floor covered in nothing but bubbles. Likely Felicity's bubbles. I'm sure when Felicity and Ben left to find Noel, you just kicked back, eating their chicken, watching their TV, probably took a nap in their bed. Holy violation of privacy, Bridget. You are the worst.
Wow.
Yeah.
Question for you, Fish.
Yeah.
Was the gall mitigated?
It was not. It was unmitigated. There were no mitigating factors for the gall.
All right. Well, Bridget Pasternak, you're the worst.
That's right, you are.
Okay. You know who's not the worst, though, Fish?
Our listeners.
They're the best, actually, I would say.
Absolutely.
We're heading into the after you listen to this tape, you have to erase it segment.
Yay.
And I'm going to put a whole bunch of stuff in here. Stuff
it's been a minute.
From the last season, the end of the last season. We've been gathering feedback for weeks. And there isn't a lot to say yet for all of us about season 3 because we're just getting there. So I thought this would be a good time to sort of regroup on some of the things you've all been saying to us as we've been dropping the recent podcast episodes. So the first one, a lot of them are kind of themed around certain things, but I do want to start with this one that's sort of an outlier, which at Vanessa Manet, she weighed in, how we always, I talk about Felicity's biggest achievement. Vanessa had one also. She writes, I think Felicity's biggest achievement is just trying to survive going through her feelings of being lied to by her parents. That after all those years is being the perfect little daughter and doing everything they asked of her. Think about all that pressure put on her to become a doctor and knowing she was the only thing holding her parents together.
Well, did she know that until Dr. Pavone pointed it out?
But
And I think
then
she was
Pavone
fulfilling
did
the
point it
role.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she did. I mean, look, holding it together, surviving the day is I think all of our greatest achievements every day.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, I think you are absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay, so that one was sort of on its own. So let's go through some of the ones that are kind of grouped together. I had a couple comments about, how, Felicity and Ben getting back together sort of generically. At Catacorn_75 says, I was so happy when he brought her that time machine. Okay. But at Colleen.Tenbus says, better than free pizza Fridays, the best. They have so much chemistry, and it's so clear all throughout this point and later that they've been dating off screen as well.
I absolutely agree with that. I think it becomes very clear towards the end of last season. The way that they interact with each other, especially when they're not talking, where it's like the camera's pulled back and they're just laughing in bed, or like he's putting his arm on her, or she just like fits right into like the nook in his body. Like it's pretty clear
Yeah,
they know each other.
you can see they were very comfortable with each other. And then at Queen Shalana 75 says, I remember fondly, this is when I tuned back in because I was such and still am a huge Ben and Felicity fan. So they kind of lost Queen Shalana 75 for a minute there with
Yeah.
some of the antics from season 2, but Queen Shalana 75 is back.
I feel like just looking through the number of listeners that we have, that's true of a lot of people.
I think so too. I mean, I feel like there are more people who are communicating with us that are Ben fans than Noel fans. So I'm not really sure how that camp feels about all this.
But
But
also, she wasn't with Noel for
yeah,
any of season 2.
yeah,
Um, and
so
he was
true.
dealing with the whole Ruby thing. So
Yeah, so true. Let's look at a couple comments about, or let's see, one comment, two comments on the ending of the Aretha theory, the rooftop scene.
yeah.
At Vanessa Manet again says, I love this scene so much as it brings me back to the season 1 finale vibes of when he turns back around after being on the road to get her to come. That was such a surprise to her then, as it was for him to remember all the way back to the fall about not coming back. The rooftop is my favorite place for them.
Hmm.
It's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. I do think there's something about that of like it's a big gesture.
Yeah, and look, if you're into that, cool. I'm not big. I'm not really big into the big gesture thing, but
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's the sort of smaller, more practical romantic moments, or like this episode with the living room bathtub. I just thought like that kind of just swept me off my feet. So
Yeah. I got another one on that Aretha theory ending in general. And this resonates for me. So at Todd_Mulcahy.
yay! I'm sorry, I
Mhm.
just remembered Todd Mulcahy again. I love that. I love that episode. I'm sorry, I do.
You do.
Yeah.
It's the perfect ending to the episode. There's a lot of chaos in this episode. And after Felicity leaves Ben the phone message and he hears it, you think they're just going to keep going in circles. But then we get this moment and it's sweet and calm and just the two of them, and they're finally happy for a little while at least. The
Yeah.
word that resonates for me there is calm.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling that way too. Like as season two is building, you just feel like there's this urgency coming from Ben, and he's making big mistakes because of
Mhm.
it. And Felicity's in total denial, and she is having to work so hard to be in complete denial over this. And then that moment, right, but I think I even said it when we were talking about it. That moment on the roof, right before they kiss, they look at each other, and I felt this complete stillness for the first time, maybe ever, between them. And yeah, it's interesting that our friend at Todd underscore Mulcahy, he picks up on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like that. I don't know, it's a silent film and they're on the roof. And I guess I felt that same thing, but I felt it when they were just sort of, again, she like fit with him and they like sort of arrange themselves to like be together and lean in towards each other and just sort of be.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got two more in the time machine. One's a quick one. Now, I don't know if this is from at Felicity Loves Pain
I
or
think
from
it's
at Felicity Loves Spain.
I think, okay, so when I first saw that, I read it the first way.
Okay.
Felicity loves pain. And I think my response was, wow, like that's a strong statement to make. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I saw it a few more times, I was like, Felicity love Spain.
I think that's probably what it
I
is. The
think
second
that's,
one.
yes, I believe that's this, yeah. So I take it back. I apologize. Uh, I did not mean to bring some weird S&M thing to your handle. Um, Clearly, Melissa also did it and apologizes.
I mean,
Uh,
hey, you can
Sorry.
tell us where we need to, hey, where are you from?
Yeah.
Like let us know.
Also, we're not going to kink shame here. So, like, if that is your thing, then I'm going to reiterate bold claim. But also, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. So this was a simple comment here on the time machine scene. At Felicity Loves Pain or at Felicity Loves Spain says one of the most amazing scenes in the TV.
Hmm.
But we get somebody who wants to see your side of this here, Fish, from at insta.mickey. Fan
Oh.
heart crying tears of laughter. Fen. I almost had a problem with Fish not giving too much credit to our beloved Ben's time machine, but I got the idea. I agree that his journey was the most important thing, and that's even why I loved the whole second half of the season. My favorite Ben speech was the last episode anyway, but getting the movie, I mean, what a romantic gesture. So you're turning some people around, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, I love that the speech that Insta.Mickey's talking about too. I think that's my favorite. So, yeah, it's look, we can love multiple things about this show.
We sure can.
Yep.
I'll talk about a couple other things now. So, first of all, I just wanted to point out, Fish, gold star to you. Okay.
Me?
Gold star to you
Oh.
because the number of people who wrote into us to say how much they loved your line about the entire cafe and all of its sluts. People love you from the final answer. Okay.
But
All
that
right.
you set that up. That was like teed up. That was
I teed it up,
your
but you had this solid gold nugget of a line. He just lost an entire cafe and all of its sluts, and the crowd went wild. All right. So,
I had to express my surprise at how much you took away from them
a huge
for
cost.
the Dear Sally tapes.
It was a
They should
big,
know. It should be highlighted.
it was a big deal. And I mean, this is why you get paid the big bucks, Fish.
Yes.
Yep.
I
Yep.
say things like that.
That's it. All right, we
J.J.
have
Abrams,
one
Matt
more.
Reeves, no sluts for you.
That's it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yep.
We've got one more to round out the end of season 2. And here's what it is. It's another one from our friend at insta.mickey, who says, I have to add a special thanks to these two wonderful ladies, Melissa and Fish, for hosting this great podcast all through season 2. So good to share our love for this show with you all.
Aw. We love sharing it with all of you. It's this great community, so we could not be more thankful and grateful for all of you.
We heart all of you. You're the best. Anyway. Oh my goodness. All right, Fish. We need to rate this episode.
We do. Go.
Okay, so you want me to go first. I can see that's what's happening here. You're like, your turn. Okay. Yep. I have chosen to rate this one in the unit of living room bathtubs.
Yes, that's perfect.
I was like, what's it going to be? And I wasn't sure at first. And then I was like, oh, obviously, living room bathtubs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you know what? I really like this one, actually. I'm going to go 8.8 out of 10. It didn't feel like this one was a 9, but I like this one for the same reason that I like a lot of other episodes that I like. It's that final answer, finally energy, the gimme an O of it all. There's just a certain, they do really well when they do fast-paced, chaotic comedy. And they dipped into that a whole bunch here, but they also set up some things that they need to, they had to get us back into the season. They had to, I don't know, set up what's to come, but it didn't feel like it was an all set up episode. So I think they did a pretty good job balancing that, because at the end of the day, they didn't give us a whole lot of cliffhanger at the end of the last one. There was the what's going to happen with Noel bit, but I didn't feel like I was on the edge of my seat necessarily coming off of the end of season 2. And so they just sort of roll us into this opening, and I think they pretty seamlessly integrated the building of new storylines and the what did you do over the summer of it all. And they got some humor in there too. And we know that there's some serious stuff brewing. So 8.8 out of 10, living room bathtubs.
I think that's a good start. It's a good start for a season. Solid.
Yeah.
As always, I rate in glubs, and I'm giving it 8.5 glubs out of 10. I agree with you. I thought this one was hilarious, with the shooting back and forth. I have had enough of the documentary style stuff. So after this one, it might start getting dinged a little bit for that.
Okay.
But for this one, I was okay with it. I do feel like there was quite a bit of setup, like at the beginning. But I liked how they gave us kind of more and more and just kind of little glimpses into how everybody's doing. And they've made me suspicious about Julie. They've made me suspicious about Elena and Tracy. I guess here's where it gets dinged the most. I did like that it was Richard that went out, that was like looking for Noel, and that was funny. I just didn't care that much about Noel.
Oh no.
Yeah, which is just a little rough. It was like, all right, he's away with Dorito Girl, like whatever. Now them coming back married certainly, ups the ante, but I needed more at the beginning of this episode or the end of last season to really feel like Noel was actually in danger. I needed more than Javier to just say, oh, she's an issue. I needed to see something from her that actually showed there was some sort of threat to Noel.
Yeah.
Because for most of this episode, I was like, why do we care so much about like Noel? Like, let him live his life. So I don't think they did that particularly effectively for me.
Fair enough. And I think the other thing that sort of makes me think is that I don't know how firmly a job they've done of placing Noel as 1 year older than some of the other students are following. Because the feeling of being a rising senior is very different than the feeling of being a rising junior in terms of like, what is the rest of your life going to look like? You can't get away from that question when you're a senior in college. It's the kind of thing that could easily contribute to sending Noel into crisis mode. But we don't really feel that energy so much because we haven't been feeling it for Felicity or for Ben or for like they are so firmly rooted in their current college experience that they're not that future set yet. And for Noel, this would be a really big deal at this point. And we don't necessarily have the scope of that because it hasn't been shared through Felicity's eyes. So I think that might be a little something to do with it as well.
Yeah, I think that does make sense. I think of it, at least my experience was a little more similar to, if you're a high school senior, you're freaking out until you get into college, right? Or you know what you're going to do for the next year or whatever. And when you're a senior in college, you're freaking out until you get a job or you know what you're going to do for, a little while. But you also have to know where you're going to live and like have a budget and all that kind of stuff. So it does add a little bit more to it. But I guess I didn't feel that as much because I did have a bit of a plan for afterward. And then, I don't know, like it wasn't at the top of my mind coming into senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, completely dropping out, yeah, with no plans, yeah, that is anxiety inducing at any stage, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If he hadn't said, I want to take a gap year, I want to take a year off to the university, doesn't matter what year he is. Like, he's lost his place.
Yeah.
So for me, that's more the issue.
Yeah, it seems fair. Well, all right. So here's the thing. So the next episode title is The Anti-Natalie Intervention.
Oh no. Oh no.
Ish. What do you
Wow.
think's coming up for us there?
Well, they laid that one out.
Yeah.
You could have just said the intervention.
Yeah.
That would have been enough. They just like really wanted to hit that nail on the head. Huh. All right. Well, I guess we're about to actually see how far off the deep end Noel has gone.
Yeah.
And my prediction is by the end of that episode, he's probably back in school, maybe even wearing a button-down shirt.
Okay.
And possibly has shaved his facial hair. And
yeah,
God, let's hope, has dyed his hair back. So yeah, I have a feeling, I mean, it feels like they do this. They set something up and then they take the first 2 episodes of a season to undo it.
Yeah.
And then they just go on with the show.
Okay.
So that's my prediction. Maybe I'm wrong. And Noel says, screw all you guys, and stays married to her forever. I don't think so, but
who's to say? Yeah. Well, they certainly gave you a taste of what's ahead with that title, more so than they do sometimes.
I bet Elena leads it.
Well, we will just have to see how it plays out. Now, look, we would love to hear your feedback. We're heading into a brand new season of the show, and we'd love to hear from you on what you think of season 3 or really anything. Feel free to share Felicity fan art if you have any of that you want to send to us. And you could do that by emailing us at themelissafish@gmail.com. That's Melissa with 1 L, 2 S's, themelissafish@gmail.com. Also, you can find lots of cool people talking about this show on our Instagram at Felicity Podcast. And if you're thinking to yourself, boy, it would have been handy to know when this episode was dropping, because I hunted forever and then I didn't know what to do, but I'm listening to you now. If that's something that you're thinking, we can solve that problem for you. We send out a newsletter when we drop a new episode, and you can sign up for that if you just check the show notes. Wherever you are listening to this podcast, you'll find a link. You can sign up for it there, and you won't have to guess next time. Now, one more thing. If you like this podcast and you want other Felicity fans to be able to find long-form Felicity content, go ahead, rate or review us if you have that option wherever you're listening to this podcast. It just helps people discover the community. They could be your friends too. All right, that's it. So that's all the things, Fish, right? Is there anything else that we left unsaid about this episode?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, until next time, Fish, don't hook up with Ben while I'm gone.
I'm a fish.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.